was going to happen at the beginning of the season, but way to fight here tonight. Good win. Let's try to move forward and pick us up a couple more here moving forward.
And Randy McCamey?
Guys, we got to keep fighting on. Seniors, we're fighting to get you one. So let's come back, work on our mistakes, learn from this game film, and try to get one here at the end of the year.
All right, we thank you for joining us so much. We know you're curious about final scores, so stay tuned in to this station, or if you're watching us on Facebook, wherever you're watching us, stay tuned in, BBB Communications, as the 5-Star Preps Friday Night Scoreboard is up next. For James Gibson, I'm Aaron Harvey. Thanks for tuning in to our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price.
Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600. All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
And welcome to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. David Queener, Jonathan Cox. We're here tonight. We didn't get an off week or a fall break.
Why didn't we get a bye week?
I don't know. We're going to have to talk to Brad Jones about that. So we'll get it figured out here eventually. But glad you're with us tonight. 483-8112 is the phone number. I know we got a lot of teams that are off tonight, but if anybody wants to call and talk about your team, we'd be more glad. Some big games around town tonight, Cox. I guess the biggest game was, I started to say Clinton and Fulton, but I'm not going to say that.
Somebody had to win a game.
Somebody had to win a game. Yeah, that's what I've called it all week, somebody that's got to win a game. I guess the biggest game around here tonight would have been Coalfield and Greenback.
Yep.
And it's like Greenback's making a statement right now. I mean, they're not just beating the Oliver Springs of the world. They're taking the Coalfields of the world out too, and they're doing it. They're making a point.
Yeah, they're making a point. I agree. I think they got their feelings hurt a little bit early in the season, and now they're to the point where they're ready to make a good, deep postseason run. Quarterback transfers from Maryville, gets over there. They get thumped early, and now they're wanting to do some thumping. I heard where they're starting quarterback, threw it to the stud over there, the wide receiver, for their 40th something point tonight. So they're definitely trying to prove a point.
And last week I asked you a question, and that question got answered last night. You didn't have to convince me anymore. I could watch it for myself. I asked if Gatlinburg-Pittman was for real, would they be a challenge to Alcoa? And I seen that last night, and that answer is definitely a no. They're not a challenge. I was impressed by, first of all, myself. I was impressed by Austin East. I thought they got some athletes, had some playmakers on them.
Yep.
The quarterback was really. And their running backs. I mean, I liked what I saw from AE.
Yeah, Coach Phillips is a good guy. He's a good coach. And, like he said, if we can somehow figure out a way to be able to just slow down Alcoa's running attack, because he feels like up front, Alcoa just gives him all kinds of problems. But he felt like outside of that, they would have a good year. 5-star preps, and we were all over Jesse about putting him in their top 10 to start the season. Putting them up there pretty high.
Put them up pretty high.
But now that you sit back and look at it, they're probably going to be a team that ends up in the top 10 by the end of the season. They're probably going to win out. Probably have to face Alcoa in the quarters of the semis.
Well, got some news. We'll talk about that after a while with Alcoa. This is a rumor I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll talk about it after a while. It involves 2 or 3 teams, and we'll see if it materializes eventually. But we'll get that a little bit later on in the show. But 483-8112, give us a call. You could see our scores on the ticker. If there's something up there that that we don't have, give us a call, and we'll get it on the board, because we like to do that every Friday night as fast as we can. But it looks like Oliver Springs rolls tonight over Sunbright. That's a big win for them. Kingston gets a pretty good win tonight over Scott County. That game was really close that game was 7-0 for a long time tonight. And Kingston pulls away in that. And I'm just impressed with Greenville. They lose the first game. They've not been touched since.
They looked bad in that first game, too.
And they
really
look
unorganized.
They
looked bad. I know they got a different quarterback now than they had then. Surely the kid that is an athlete getting recruited to play college football, he did not touch the ball that night against Powell outside of his interception.
True.
So, I think they've come a long way. I did see where Pigeon Forge got their first win of the year.
Yep.
So Pigeon Forge and Fulton both checked the box of getting a win. I'm gonna say something, and I don't know if you agree with me or disagree with me. I don't know the last time I've watched Clinton play football, and thinking back, not actually probably witnessed a worse team than I watched tonight.
Well, I don't know that I'm gonna agree with you. I really thought when I watched Clinton play Oak Ridge this year, and that's the first time I'd seen him play, okay? And I did that game with Jim Harris on WISH. I done radio, and I really didn't think Clinton was that bad.
I'm not talking about talent.
You think that?
I thought some kids out there tonight. I thought there was some talent out there.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there is too. I heard the guys that done the game tonight, and I don't know the guy that's doing the color guy. I can't even remember his name. I heard him talk about the Clinton linemen sort of standing around, watching the runner, but not looking for somebody to block. Yeah. I don't know what kind of blocking scheme they're in. All I've said about Clinton this year is I just don't agree with that. The offense they're running, I know nothing about it. Maybe they're running exactly what they need to run with the type of athletes they got. But I just don't like that offense. They have opened it up a little bit. As you can see, Winchester can catch the ball.
Yeah.
And the little Thacker's a kid. He's young. He's going to make mistakes.
40's hard to bring down when he gets the ball.
He is. And they've got some kids that are still out hurt. So, I don't know that,
it just seems...
you think it's scheme-wise or, what?
I don't know. The culture, I think, has to improve. Body language. I was watching a young man tonight, and I'm not going to call his number out or his name. I was standing on the sideline. I watched a young man tonight. Kid from Fulton is blocking. The whistle blows, the kid literally takes an open hand to the kid's face. And then the ref says something to him, but I'm fine. I mean, you know, it's
that's like penalties and everything else. That falls back to being disciplined. And
Yeah.
if you're not disciplined, and you know that just man, I say this a lot, and I think me and you've talked about it some. When you've got a losing culture, it is hard to get rid of that.
Oh.
It's hard to get rid of that culture.
Oh,
The hardest thing in the world to do is to start winning again.
yep.
And it's like if Clinton could win the first game, you know, maybe that's what they need.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people thought with Fulton coming in tonight at 0-6, myself included, I thought Clinton might have a shot tonight. I'm really shocked at the score. I'm really shocked at the score tonight. I really am.
And I ran into Brian Hatmaker tonight. I was leaving, and I know he was at the Anderson County game, of course, because his son's a quarterback, and he was there tonight. But I see the same thing happen tonight that I watched the Anderson County game.
So then that tells me then
I've
in the last seven ball games there's been no improvement then.
Well, no, I'm talking about the culture
Oh,
aspect.
the culture aspect?
Because here's what I'm going to go at. Anderson County comes out to start the third quarter. Anybody can win that football game if you just look at the score and you've watched the way the game's played out.
Okay.
It wasn't like Anderson County dominated them for 2 quarters to start the game. But then Val Kid returns it for a touchdown, 3 and out. Anderson County scores, night, over. Tonight, Clinton scores before they go into the half. It looks like they got some momentum
coming out, going to get the ball in the third quarter.
Get the ball.
Right.
All of a sudden, you know, you get a Fulton touchdown on a drive, and then a turnover to a touchdown, and then it's not.
Well,
it's like what's going to happen next. Sort of like watching UT football right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, turnovers has been something that's killed them. Defensively, Clinton's, you know, had some interception, recovered fumbles.
Yeah.
But offensively, what the defense has gave them, they gave back.
The ball.
And the penalties, man, the penalties, and there were some penalties both ways tonight, but penalties will kill your drive. I mean, they will absolutely kill your drive every time.
Yeah.
They were killing.
The ball was on the ground from Clinton 5 times in 3 quarters tonight, and Fulton recovered 2 of them.
Yeah, I see. And Clinton got lucky and recovered some of them, but
Think about
I don't know. They've had
5.
trouble. Listen, they've had trouble. Yeah, that's a big deal. You know, at one time, Clinton.
I bet Maryville can go 4 games without putting on the ground 5 times.
At one time this year, Clinton had turned the ball over 10 times, but their defense had caused 9 turnovers that they had. So everybody was talking about all the turnovers that Clinton was causing. And I called the Wednesday night show. And I called Sleepy House, John Williams. And I know he's a dedicated Clinton fan.
Yep.
He thinks Clinton's going to win, even if there wasn't a Clinton football team, he'd think that. And I said, Sleepy, you're bragging about all the turnovers the defense have caused, but how many is the offense? They've done 10 at the time. So there's a problem. And, you know, Ron Berry used to tell me, hey, don't pick with your heart, man. You got to pick with your brain. Eventually, you just have to stop picking them because, and my heart wants them to win because I'm a Clinton guy, but, you know, there's something, I don't know what it is, but there's something going on. Let's get this call. It's been on hold for a little while. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, caller. Ain't nobody there. Hello. Okay. We'll move on.
You know, and here's the other thing. This week for Coach McCamey and this week for Coach Black had to be very, very difficult weeks. You have 2 teams that have not won a football game. You're on fall break, and you've asked these kids to come punch the ticket for 4 straight days to get ready for this football game. Now, I personally just asked Coach Black tonight, hey, how was it this week? I mean, I've been at Fulton for 14 years. Last year, there was a young man who didn't play in the game after fall break because he missed a day of practice. So, you know, you wonder what it was like. He said, it was a really good week. He said the kids showed up, they went to work. He said, and I was a little worried about it going into it. Then on the flip side of that, I heard tonight that Clinton had over 30 kids absent.
I heard that.
At practice this week.
I heard the same thing.
You can say what you want to about coaching, but until the parents hold the kid accountable for finishing what they started and doing it the right way.
Doing it the right way.
Those coaches don't have a chance.
It don't matter who the coach is.
It don't matter who it is.
That's exactly right.
You can bring George Quarles back in here, and if those parents let those kids miss,
yeah,
they're part of the culture.
They're part of the culture.
So you can
I
say
agree
what
with
you
you.
want to. You can throw Coach McCamey under the bus. You can throw all these other assistants under the bus. You can talk about Clint needs to get back. You know, we had John and everybody else calling in how they need to get back. Well, it starts in the community for these parents making their kids go finish what they started.
I agree 100%. All right, now we got 3 lines. Blake, let's see if we can get this right here. Quick caller, you on the air.
Yeah, we live in the Catlett area.
You're reliving the Catlett era?
Yes.
Well, Catlett didn't win a game, that's for sure. I know that for a fact. But he at least seen the writing on the wall, and he resigned because he thought he was taking the heat off the kids because it was unreal.
And I can remember that a little bit vaguely. But this team tonight, they've got some talent on the field.
There's some talent out. That's the difference. There's talent out there.
Winchester kid's a good player. 56 is a hard-nosed football player, plays hard both ways.
Yeah.
40, tonight when he got the ball was hard tackle. The Thackerson kid's got 8. He'll be fine. I can remember that Catlett team like they couldn't. Yeah, it didn't matter what Kevin did.
It was bad.
Nothing against those guys that played.
And also during that time frame with Catlett during that year, tons of injuries, having to play a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores too. And it just got some bad from the stands that in order to take the heat off the kids, he thought it'd be best to resign. He resigned with 3 games to go.
But then again, not everybody in Clinton was all in for Kevin Catlett.
No, everybody was not in for Kevin Catlett. He was a last-minute replacement. He didn't get to have spring practice. He didn't come in till late in the summer, and it was just it was a messed up.
And Kevin Catlett's a great football coach.
A great
teacher.
football
That's
coach.
why he's at Webb doing what he does.
I know one boy that played under Catlett, and he told me that they tried to lose a game and ended up winning it.
They tried to. I don't know.
There's no coach ever trying to lose games.
I don't buy that.
You put too much time and effort into
too much time. And Kevin was a good coach. He was just not from here. He's from Knoxville. His ties were in Knoxville. He went to some big church in Knoxville. He didn't want to. He just wasn't going to move his family here, and that's what hurt him. He just didn't buy into Clinton either. But that's what hurt him. But as far as being a good football coach, I heard Ken Sparks say, and I heard this out of Ken Sparks' mouth in the Clinton press box, that Kevin Catlett might be one of the best football players he's ever coached, and might be one of the smartest football players he's ever coached.
I grew up around the man. He's way too competitive to try to lose a football game.
Week?
How many
players quit this week?
How many players quit this week? At Clinton?
I can't hear anything he's saying.
I can just barely hear. I don't think any quit this week.
I heard the quarterback quit because he was hurt.
I don't know about that. Thackerson kid's been a quarterback for weeks now, so he played tonight, so he didn't quit.
So there's none quit. How many's quit in the past 2 or 3 weeks? Any of them?
We just heard
5 or 6.
We did hear a caller. They had somebody. It was a game of the player of the week 2 weeks ago, and then he's been on vacation.
He's been gone or something, but he's supposed to be hurt too.
But we don't really know how many.
I heard him say tonight he had a shoulder injury, so I don't know if he does or not. So
maybe that's why.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah. I don't think anybody's quit this week. I've not heard it if they have. A few weeks ago, they had about 3 or 4 kids quit.
Okay. So there's no way that Clinton can be in the playoffs now. It's over with.
No, it's over with for them, I think.
If they'd have won tonight, they would have had a chance to win these next 2 games, and they'd been in the playoffs.
Possibly.
Caller, I've watched Carnes, and I know how well Campbell County's coached, and I know how not good Fulton is. I think they're going to have a hard time winning a game in that schedule they've got left.
See, that's homecoming too, and Campbell County spoiled Clinton's homecoming a bunch of times.
Well, they might spoil it again.
Campbell County spoiled a lot of people's homecoming, and now they're not their homecoming anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
You fellas have a good day. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Great caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, I was just wondering, did Harriman play tonight?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And I heard the score earlier. I think it was 21-20 over Midway.
Big win for Harriman.
21-20 over Midway. Harriman.
So Harriman won.
Yes.
All right, that's cool. 21
to 20.
21 to 20. Man, that's close.
That's close. You got that right. It sure is.
Yeah.
At least they won. That's the main thing.
Hey, put me on the TV.
Put you on the TV?
Yeah.
How'd I put you on the TV?
Well, on the, the scoreboard.
You're on the scoreboard. You're talking to us right now.
Oh, I am right now?
Yeah, right now. You're live, buddy. You're as live as you can get.
Oh, that's cool, man. Thank you very much.
See, man?
Yeah.
Cool, man. You're on TV. You was live, baby. You just didn't know it. You was right here with us. I heard, once again, I heard a color guy on the TV tonight talking about Midway had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
And it got really pretty desperate with them about having enough players.
You know, we never heard anything more about that Sunbright Oakdale ejections and if Oakdale had enough kids to play. And Sunbright,
we never did hear
obviously
that.
they got beat by Oliver Springs tonight. Super fan, he probably maybe got to Cofield and Oliver Springs tonight, the way he travels, but probably watched the game from Oliver Springs out by the road.
I'd say he did watch it from Oliver Springs out by the road, but you won't hear too much from him tonight because Cofield got spanked tonight. So I don't know, man. Greenback, just watch out. That's all I got to say. They're for real. It's not. I thought it might be a chance for a bunch of people. And the Cofield's. I can tell you two teams Greenback's beat I think are really good football teams, Cox, and that's Oliver Springs and Cofield. They're really good football teams.
Yep.
But it's like Greenback just like that much better than them.
Hey.
Just that much. It's just. Well, and you know what it is? It's the recruit from Maryville and the recruit from Alcoa and the recruit from wherever else.
It is.
So
it never helps that they get one or two players from wherever that might be.
Yeah.
That are looking for instant gratification because it just wasn't as good enough at Maryville or Alcoa as it was supposed to be.
That's true. I tell you what, let's jump out and take our first break of the night, and when we come back, we'll continue to take your phone calls. 483-8112. I'd be interested to see if anybody from Clinton, when they get home, what they think about it tonight. I was a little, not a bad crowd there, but it could have been better. I was hoping there'd been a big crowd show up for the boys tonight to support because they're still working hard. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here in just a couple minutes.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owner's insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammer's popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. 483-8112, give us a call. We'd be more than glad to take your calls. Man, it's hard to believe, Cox, this thing, we're down to about 3 weeks here after tonight, or 4 weeks, or about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks after tonight, and it's playoff times, and a lot of teams know who's going and who's not. Some are still waiting and to see. They got their destiny in front of them. Can Fulton win out? If Fulton wins out, that means they'd have to beat West and Oak Ridge both. But if they win out,
play in the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. If they beat Campbell County, from my understanding, if they beat Campbell County and Clinton beats Carnes, Fulton's also in.
Okay. Yep. We're packed here. Let's get them. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, you guys may have covered this earlier, but I wonder the wisdom of scheduling a game during fall break. I was over that Clinton game tonight. The stands were empty. We had no bands. We had no dancing dragons. And it was just a rough atmosphere. And I'm sure there had to be some overriding scheduling concern with Fulton's schedule, but it was bad for the gate. I mean, you know, they didn't sell a lot of tickets. Concession revenue had to be down. Looks like they ought to try their very best to avoid scheduling a game on fall break like this. A lot of schools have done that.
Well, yeah, you're correct, and I was sort of disappointed. And I watched the game on TV tonight, but I was sort of disappointed that there wasn't a band there tonight. But I guess maybe being fall break, the band director didn't think it was necessary to be there. That's a vital part. You know, usually when your concession stands down, you know what that usually means, don't you?
Well,
when you don't sell concessions, usually your coach gets fired. That's how it works in Tennessee anyway. When the popcorn and Cokes are down, the coach goes.
I agree with the text I got. At least the cheerleaders were there.
At least the cheerleaders there. Yeah, that's a bad situation, Carl. I agree with you 100%. I mean, I was worried. I talked to Jim Harris, the voice of the Dragons today on WYSH this morning, and I told him I really hope the Clinton people came out tonight because the Dragons have been gone for 5 weeks. I really hope the fans came out tonight to support them, and it was not a really good crowd. I agree with you 100%.
Caller, one thing that hurts Fulton and Clinton on tonight, with the scheduling, is this district, this region has 7 teams, so it's a little bit larger than most. So the way it fell, there was going to be a couple region games tonight, or a couple teams had to play a region game tonight, and the way the schedule just panned out, and Fulton and Maryville have an agreement that game is always going to be that week. When they decided to play, it wasn't going to be, hey, we're going to do this, you know, and then, you know, that's how that worked. I know Fulton last year, the last 2 years, have had a bye week in week 1, and that was awful. So, you know, you're right. These fall breaks, it's hard on football teams, especially football teams that are 0-6 and 0-6 going against each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, like we said, there's not a lot you can do about it. I'm sure Coalfield or Greenback, I'm sure one of those schools might have been on fall break. Who knows?
Who knows?
But they were out there playing tonight.
Well, Clinton, I know, had some disciplinary action against some kids tonight because they didn't come to practice this week or missed one day anyway. So it does have an effect on the game.
Well, and you mentioned culture earlier. I mean, a lot of families do travel and go on trips in fall break, and you know, Oak Ridge, they've got that year-round where they're out 2 weeks.
Yep.
And that's disruptive for your band programs. They try to have competitive band. I'm a band guy, and I know about how they do their contests and stuff, and it's really tough to do those things. And like you say, you've got a culture. Some of your big nationally competitive bands, they'll have a week off, and they'll say, we'll have 10 hours of practice today to get ready for national championships and things like that. But when you're not one of those level programs, it's hard to get parents to buy into that and agree to do that. But it was just tough, you know, to see the crowd. And I knew a lot of folks were away. People on vacation. People make these trips when they have breaks, and they take advantage of it.
Let me tell you how I look at that. If you're a football parent or you're a band parent, and you know you're in football season, I think your commitment has to be you're going to be there. I mean, that's just me. I understand what you're saying. I fully agree with you. I understand, but I think if you're playing football and the band is just as important as anything in a football game. To me, it is anyway. I think that's a commitment. I think that's a commitment that you got to make for 10 weeks. I think that's a commitment that you have to make that as a parent. You make that commitment, or you don't get involved in that. That's me. That's all, and I might be the only one out of 1,000 that says that. That's me. A commitment is a commitment. That's me.
Hey, first off, thanks for coming on and introducing yourself tonight and watching the show all the time. I'm going to ask you a question because I don't know a lot about the band. I do know about coaching, a little bit about, you know, and commitment level, but are you surprised that the bands do not participate on an off week like this, or is that pretty standard?
A lot of schools do it different ways. When our children have been in the past, we've had like a pep band during that week. You know, these guys do contests on Saturdays a lot of time, and they're doing summer rehearsals like your football team, you know, and band camps and things like that. And some programs will just say you're off the week. Some high schools will say, well, we'll have a pep band on Friday. And it varies from school to school. And like you say, it's a lot of it is what they're used to doing and what parents are used to doing. And it really varies greatly from school to school, but it sure adds a lot to the atmosphere to have everything there. And you know, you got parents that are working around schedules, and they have kids in different schools, and they're trying to, maybe some kids in 2 different school systems are trying to get a little time off. And I remember when the fall break was a new thing, and people just, it took them a while to catch on that, hey, this is a great time to go do some trips that aren't as busy, and you can get better rates on a vacation if you go certain places during this time of year. And it's important to a lot of families to do that. So it's a difficult situation, and everybody handles it a little differently.
It'd been nice tonight if it'd been a pep band there. That would have been great. I would have been. I probably wouldn't have said nothing else about it if it at least been that tonight. But I still, you know, I just think if you're a football kid, you better be going on your vacation and everything in the summer months when you're not participating in football. It's sort of like baseball and basketball. When that rolls around, man, that's when you're there. You're there. That's a commitment you make for. And basketball's a bigger commitment than football because, you know, you're playing on Tuesdays and Friday nights and some Saturday.
You don't go anywhere for Thanksgiving. You don't go anywhere for Christmas. You don't go anywhere for spring break.
Right, it's all there. You're playing basketball. So I just think it starts. It really it's got to start at the house on some of this stuff.
The football parents have to work around dead period when they can take their time in July.
There you go. There you go. That's right.
You have to work around that.
We do that. We do that right here, sir. We do that right here at Channel 12. We take off in the summertime when the dead period is in football, because that's our big thing here is football. Friday night football is really big here at Channel 12. And we take off in the summer months during the dead period, so we're not missing anything to get ready for football to start. So we take the advantage of the dead period here as for what we do on our Wednesday night show and other things when we're in the summertime just covering any sports period. But we take off because we're getting ready for high school, because there's no, I mean, we've got a commitment that we're going to be there. So I it's everybody for their own thing, wherever they think. I mean, you know, I wish there'd been a band there tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing against
Yeah.
the band program because, and I'm a graduate from Clinton High School. Clinton's always had a great band, and I just think it's really a big part of the game.
Well, and I am too. I'm a Clinton grad and an old band guy myself. You know, interesting, this week I've got some friends that are AC parents, and Anderson County football did not practice this week.
I heard that.
And I thought that was interesting. And in the grind, I could see giving the guys a little bit of a break. I could see that. I don't know if they had some guys banged up or nicked up or something, but I could see where that could be beneficial, but I could see where that might be, a little bit of a problem too going forward. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, personally myself, when I was told that, I didn't know whether to believe that or not. But it might be a smart move. Give everybody a chance to reset their batteries a little bit. You don't miss. You don't. If you cancel practice all the way around, nobody's gonna miss. That's for sure.
I'm going to take a different angle. I love those guys up there. I think they're great football coaches, and it's not going to hurt them one bit against Chattanooga Central. It's not going to hurt them one bit.
Well, yeah, they play in the weakest region
against
in the state.
East Hamilton. It's not going to hurt them one bit against Sequoia. But are they going to be ready to tackle and play big boy football when they go to Greenville, or when Elizabethton comes to town? I mean, just as a coach, your goal is not, necessarily to, are we good enough to win the next game? Where I come from, the goal is, are we good enough to win the gold ball? And
Right.
I think it's hard to take a week off during the middle of a season.
You got to start all over again.
I don't know. You ask these kids to show up the day after dead period and, maybe do 2 days at some point, but then at a certain time of the year, you can just give them a week off. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
If you can get away with it, I guess it's all right.
And I heard they had a hard time tackling last week. So I don't know. They know what they're doing when it comes to coaching football. I don't. But I was very surprised.
Well, I would love to see them have great success, and see Clinton have great success, and Oak Ridge have all the local teams doing well. It makes everybody happy, and it's good for the communities and excitement, and we'd like to see them all be wildly successful in the near future, if at all possible.
All right, we appreciate your call. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys. Enjoy the show.
I'm wondering if Coach Gaddis is watching tonight, because he's got a big game next week at Mount Juliet. And I understand they're pretty good. And he told me last week he wants me to come to the show. And he says I'm sort of good luck. When I come, they win. But he's never called me about riding the bus to Mount Juliet next week. I don't know if I'm going Wednesday night if he don't call me and offer me a ride on the bus.
Got to be a little give and take in that relationship.
Got to be a little give and take. Quick caller, you on there?
Hey, Dave Pointer, Jasper, on up here at WISH.
Hey, Jasper, what's going on, bud?
Not much. Got a good question for you.
Asked.
I wanted to know, does the coach or does the athletic director finalize the schedule, and how long in advance do they schedule the football games out from season to season?
Well, you do it every year. There's a certain time every year you do it. I don't really know when it is.
It's getting earlier and earlier.
It's getting earlier and earlier. Usually the head coach, because I've heard Coach Gaddis talk about that just here recently, and I'm sure Clinton does it too. He talked about it come down with Mount Juliet. How he got to Mount Juliet was they had talked. They didn't think he was going to work out, and then it got down to where that's the only game they had.
And if they both could work it out, then they would do it.
They would do it, and it got down to where they worked it out because that was the only possibility for either one of them. But Coach Gaddis said he did not want to play a private team, so I think it comes down to the coach actually does the schedule 100%, not the athletic. I'm sure the athletic director's there with him, but the coach actually picks the schedule.
The coaches are texting and calling, trying to jockey for games. I mean, next year is a scheduling year.
Yeah.
So
Clinton had to find four games out of pocket.
Yes.
They had to find 4 games out of pocket, and then they got to combine that with the region stuff.
And you're always going to play Anderson County, and you're always going to play Oak Ridge.
There's 2 automatics right there.
So they played CAK. Well, I'm sorry. They played Oak Ridge is region. So Anderson County, which they're always going to play, and then they had to go to CAK, Halls, Meigs County.
Yeah.
Where they're 3.
Yeah, they picked those. They picked that schedule, Jasper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, excluding Fulton, it seems like every team that Clinton has played this year has got a winning record, and they're just were outmanned by
Jasper, I don't know you from
difficult
Adam, but
schedule.
the CAK and the Halls games were good games for Clinton because Halls is not good.
Yeah, the Halls game is a game that Clinton probably should have won, Jasper.
Halls.
I tell you what, I'll switch records with Halls.
Halls has a, what'd he say?
He'd switch records with Halls right now.
Yeah, you would, but I mean, I understand that. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I understand that, but they're not good.
They're not. They you know, their schedule was not.
They're probably going to lose out.
They're probably going to lose out and wind up 5-5. But you take 5-5 right now, wouldn't you?
We'd take 5-5. I'd take 1-7 right now.
I heard that, buddy. I'm with you on that.
And I'm with you on the band. You know, when you come to Clinton, you expect the full effect. I just don't like, you know, 35 years down the road how the program changes. I just hope that the tradition continues to carry on. Like you said, you know, the band has always played a vital part in the Clinton's football program, and the band was missed tonight. So.
Yeah, and I was disappointed in the crowd tonight, man. I told Jim Harris today when I called in and talked that I really hope the Clinton people came out and showed a lot of support. I thought that football team has not given up this year. I thought they played hard. I thought they played hard when I seen them against Oak Ridge. But I was a little disappointed Clinton people didn't come out tonight. So shame on, it's their fault. It's their, you know, shame on them, man. They gotta, you know, we got to turn this thing around somehow. And I'll be honest, I don't know how. If I knew how, I'd call whoever I need to call or go see whoever I need to go see to do it. But they got to get this program turned around somehow.
It's not going to happen until you get total buy-in from everybody.
All I can do the remainder of the year is say, go Dragons.
All right, buddy.
Good talking to you. Have a great
All right,
weekend.
see you, Jazz.
Go Vols.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Go ahead, caller. You're on there.
What do you say, Queener? Rough night for you, huh?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
It's not been rough for me at all, buddy.
Well, you didn't get to see Joe Gaddis play.
I didn't get to see Gaddis play, so yeah, I guess it was a little rough.
Yeah,
Listen,
he didn't call you because he didn't want you on that bus.
I'm sorry?
He didn't call you because he doesn't want you on
Good,
that
then
bus.
he'll go down to Mount Judah and he'll lose this He'll lose this Friday night because I won't go to Pizza Inn. You keep running your mouth like that. Let's see who wins. He's done asked me to come down, so I'm going to tell him now. An Oak Ridge fan called and ticked me off. That's why I didn't show up. Blame the loss on you.
And he'll say he's a fair weather Oak Ridge fan because he don't show up all the time.
You're just a fair weather fan. So don't be calling out here jumping on me and telling me I had a hard time tonight. Y'all had a hard time at the first of the year when Hardin Valley beat you.
Yeah,
you ain't got over that yet, have you?
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, you agree, but I didn't have a hard time tonight because let me tell you why. I didn't play, I didn't coach, and I didn't go to the game, so I didn't have a hard time at all. I was pretty good in my chair until 9 o'clock when I got out of it and got cocked here at 9:20. I didn't have no worries. How about that, fair weather fan? So now I'm going to show you I'm not going to Pizza Inn Wednesday night, and if the Wildcats get by 28, you best not call. Because I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out for the rest of the year.
I was going to go there and eat with you.
No, you're not eating. You'll never eat. Listen, you'll never eat with me. You'll never have the privilege of sitting at the same table.
You've ate with me before. Don't lie to that TV.
You'll never have the privilege of sitting at the same table with me.
Hey, we don't hide behind the TV. We leave the door unlocked.
The damn door's open. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. The door's unlocked. You done got me jacked up.
You don't make me come over there. I'll do it.
Come over here. Everything you do. There won't be no door when you come over here because you'll go through it. Golly. Come here and tell me I had a hard time. Now, I didn't have no hard time.
I'll take over that show and they'll love me.
Well, come on down. You can take it over if you want to.
Yeah, come on down.
Here, come on down.
All right, I'll come down.
We'll leave you sitting here. See you. Bye.
Done.
Go ahead, caller. You're on there. Go ahead, caller. Okay, he's not there. Let's take a break. He's still got us jacked up. Almighty. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Oh,
God, I've done.
We're still in the air.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Amherst Stores.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We built our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Well, welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday. Sorry, folks, lost my cooler.
It's PG version.
It's a PG version now, so anyway. Go ahead, caller, you on the air.
Well, guys, I just got back not too long ago from the field over there in Clinton. And I'm going to tell you something. The talent on that Clinton team is not as bad as what we're showing right now.
Have you watched any of the show so far tonight?
No, it's the first I've seen.
Well, I just made the comment when we opened up. I was there tonight, and I just made the comment that I thought there was some talent out there, but the culture and just transitioning into, you know, a winning culture is just not happening right now.
Hey, caller, if I can ask a question, what do you think the problem is? I think I know what you're going to say, but what do you think the problem is? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
I'll just tell you, I think it boils down to pride. You've got a man and a staff that wants it his way. He wants to run it his way. And his talent doesn't match what he wants to do. So what you've got to do is you've got to coach to the talent that you have. They can throw the ball. They don't throw enough. They keep running. I can't tell you how many times it was 2nd and 12. 3rd and 15, and they ran the dang ball up the middle.
Yeah.
That, kids don't want to play this type of offense, especially when you get your brains beat in. Now, I go down to Oak Ridge, and I see them play against Oak Ridge, and they really play pretty well.
I agree with you 100%.
And, I'm just asking the staff and the coaches to swallow their pride a little bit and look at the talent that they've got and coach up to the talent that they've got. That's all I'm asking for, and I don't think I'm alone in asking for that.
Caller, I'm going to say something that you might disagree with, but that game tonight, it could have been 14-13. Clinton at the half.
Yeah.
But Clinton fumbled the ball inside the 5. That probably was not a fumble. Brad, you were probably home watching.
It wasn't a fumble.
But on the flip side of that, I'm going to ask you, is putting the ball on the ground 5 times, is that coaching? Holding on to the football?
You know what? No, it's not. I mean, that's on the players. That's a good point that you made.
So, we've all played sports. We all make mistakes. You turn the ball over. Stuff happens. But, I agree with you. I thought Clinton had more talent than I expected them to have. They were a little tougher than I expected them. All in all, I was a little surprised by the amount of talent they did have. I was expecting less.
Well, I have a lot of respect for this guy that I'm fixing to say, because I think he's a really good football coach. He's been doing it a long time. That's Coach Gaddis. He told me, he said, Clinton's a better team than what their record indicates.
Yeah.
It's a better, they've got some talent. So there's something, I don't know what I said earlier, you didn't hear me say this because you said you just came in. I said, if I knew what the problem was, I'd go make the phone call or go try to get it fixed, but I don't know what the problem is. 30 players listen, I told this we told this week. 30-some players didn't show up for practice one day this week.
And
I don't know if that's true or not.
You guys have played football. That sport becomes a lot more difficult to play when you're getting your brains beat in.
Yeah.
And you feel like no one's listening to what, you're saying. Anything you suggest, it's always my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And, that type of attitude's got to end. I mean, I understand what you say about buy-in, but when it's all give or when it's all take and no give, people get tired of that.
But at the same time, caller, the parents got to make sure their kids are at practice.
Yeah, you got to practice, man. I mean,
fall break.
This is a bad situation for fall break and they're having a game on Friday night, but ain't nothing you can do about it. It's just part of it. Everybody in the state of Tennessee's probably having to deal with that.
You commit to do something, you
got to follow through your commitment. Yeah. I mean, football right now, listen, there's 10 weeks of football, and if you're lucky, you go to the playoffs. You got to commit for 10 weeks. I'm sorry.
But don't you think, I'll ask you this, don't you think the coaching staff has got to make a commitment to make some changes so that they have a chance?
No, I'm agreeing. Listen, so if you've watched this show any, the biggest thing that I've said is about the offense. I don't think the offense fits the players neither. But I don't know the athletes per se. I can tell you who I think there's some good athletes out there. My biggest thing is Winchester. I think he's a really good athlete. There's a Cooper kid that's really good. I think the young quarterback is going to be a really good quarterback. The King kid last week really stepped up. There's a couple other running backs. I don't really remember their names, but they've stepped up. Clinton's got a big offensive line, but an offensive line that didn't block very well tonight. They stood up. They were watching plays instead of participating in plays. So that falls back a little bit to coaching, a little bit not. So, but Clinton does have some athletes. I don't know. This might be what is the best offense to run. But I don't know that. I don't know that. See what I'm saying?
It looked like they were running 2 different styles of offense. It looked like some occasionally they were in the shotgun trying a little spread and then went to a little wing tee. I don't know.
To your question that you're asking us, I think Clinton has changed their offense a little bit. Because the first 3 or 4 games, they didn't throw the ball any. Hardly.
But it seems like to me that when they change it, it's out of desperation. It's not by game. It's not by
and I agree. Yes, sir, you're right. I agree with you. But against Oak Ridge, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Clinton come out in the first play of the game, try to throw a deep pass? I believe if my memory serves me correct, they came out and tried to hit the big deep pass, and it was an incomplete pass. I mean, it didn't happen. But, you know, I don't know. We've got some problems, and we need to figure them out right now and try to win these last 2 ball games to get it ready for next year. But I don't know.
It's hard to be good.
It's hard to
be good at 2 different styles of offense.
Yep. You can only be good at one of them. I agree with that 100%.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, appreciate it. Good caller, you're there.
Did Oak Ridge play tonight?
No, Oak Ridge was off tonight. They had a bye tonight. They were off.
Does Oakland and Maryville play?
Who? Oakland
in the playoffs.
Oakland and Maryland.
Maryville and Oakland play each other in the playoffs.
They play, don't they?
No, in the playoffs. Only in the playoffs.
Okay, does Oak Ridge play them?
No.
No. They're 6A and Oak Ridge is 5A.
What about Powell? Did they win tonight?
I think Powell
might have been off tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
they were.
Thank
Powell
you.
was off.
Powell was off tonight. All right. 483-8112. Give us a call. We'd be more glad to talk to you with whatever's on your mind, wherever you're from. You can call us. Not had anybody call from Auburn Springs yet. I wish somebody called, but that'd be all right too. Cox, I heard a rumor today.
Yep.
And I don't know how true this rumor is. Are we getting ready to be in the reclassification period here before long?
After next year.
After next year.
After next year.
Okay, I heard a rumor today that Fulton, Alcoa, Seymour,
Carter,
Gibbs, and Carter are looking to go back to 4A football. All being 4A.
Yes.
Is that?
Let's get right back to the question. Let's go to this call.
Okay. Go ahead, caller. You're on air.
Hey guys, it's Jesse Smithey. How are you tonight?
Jesse, we're doing pretty good. How you doing?
Not bad. Driving back from the beautiful city of Coalfield back into Knoxville, Tennessee, and just ready to talk a little bit of football.
What happened down there tonight, Jesse?
What is this guy?
He don't know how to open
Well, I think defensively Coalfield came into that game with the mindset that they're going to hold Holden Willis down. They're going to put double, triple teams on him and make the other playmakers from Greenback make the plays, and the other playmakers for Greenback made those plays, whether it was Wyatt Ruckerson or whether it was Blake Fields or whether it was Braden Carnes or whomever. Other guys rose to the occasion, and that happens sometimes. But Coalfield kind of put all their defensive eggs in that basket, and it just backfired a little bit. They also gave Greenback a little momentum early there in the game, fumbling on the first play, and Greenback cashed that into points. And you just can't do that against a program like Greenback. And you got to give Coalfield some credit. They came back and made it a game. I think it was 26-14 or 28-14 there in the second half. But just too much firepower for this Greenback team. They're not the same Greenback team that lost to Loudon in week 1 or to Macon County. They've come a long way, and they're legitimate 1A state title contenders again.
Is the quarterback finally back to, who you watched last year toward the end of the season for Maryville and feeling comfortable and, sort of know what's going on in the system and becoming the football player you thought he would be?
Yeah, I think so. And I talked with Braden about that. I said, hey, you go from Maryville from 3 years where you're used to an offense, you're used to those wide receivers, and now you're going in and trying to learn a new offense and create chemistry with guys who have all played together, and you're the newcomer. How long does that take? And I still don't think he's where he wants to be, but you're starting to see the chemistry there with guys beyond just him and Holden Willis. As I mentioned, he found 3, 4, 5 different guys tonight that he could rely on. And when you can beat a team like Coalfield without really having to use your star wide receiver, that's going to bode well for Greenback down the line when they have to maybe line up against a South Pittsburgh in the state semifinals if they do make it that far.
Was anything said, or did tempers flare late in the game when Greenback throws a pass with less than 5 minutes to go to their stud receiver to go up?
Yeah, no, there was no. I thought there might be. Now, it was chippy all night. I mean, these two teams know each other very well. They play each other in the regular season. They oftentimes meet in the state quarterfinals, and this game was basically a de facto region championship game. I know Coalfield's got some big games left, but this was for all the marbles, and two teams, no love lost between those two teams, and it was chippy throughout the night. And there were a couple flags that flew when tempers flared, but no fights, anything like that. There were no coach confrontations or anything like that, but you could tell it wasn't a welcome sight over on the Coalfield sideline.
Hey, what about Grace Christian? I had somebody text me about that earlier. Want to know, do they have a legit chance to make a run and win a state championship in their classification, or is that too loaded on that side for them to do anything?
It's hard to tell right now because some of the teams that they're having to play, like they might have to play, say, take for a CPA, for example. A week ago they were 2-5, but undefeated in region play, but had lost 5 games to some powerhouse teams. So it's really hard to tell what else is out there right now. But this is probably one of Rusty's better teams that he's had in his short time at Grace Christian, and you got to like the way that they've evolved. They beat a really good team tonight on the road. They played 6 road games in their 7 games this year, so they can handle the elements. They can be comfortable being uncomfortable out of their stadium. So it's definitely a good-looking team. I got to see them a week ago against Webb, and we'll see. There's some big games they have left on the schedule. Still got to lock horns with CAK, who's having a nice season, and teams like Lipscomb and CPA are out there as well. But definitely they should be around there in the meaningful rounds of the playoffs.
Hey, Jesse, I was told earlier in the year you were really hyped up on Austin East. I sort of agree with you if that's the case, because I thought Austin East looked really good last night on TV.
Yeah, they did, and that's probably the best game I've seen them play this year. Not that I've seen them in every game, but I did get to see them struggle out of the gates against Webb and Alcoa, and that's not the same team from those early weeks either. They have a running back in Isaiah Ligon who ran for some 275, 280 yards. He returned a punt for a touchdown. They have a nice receiver in Keon Smith, and a quarterback in Trey Foster who's already thrown for over 1,000 and run for 1,000 this year. So they've got the number 2 seed locked up in that region behind Alcoa, and they'll see if they can kind of parlay that into a longer playoff run. They matched with Alcoa in the state quarterfinals, I think last year, I believe, and actually gave Alcoa a decent game in the regular season a year ago. We'll see if they can do that again.
Well, I asked Cox last week about Gatlinburg-Pittman if they were for real, so I got that question answered last night, I think.
Well, I don't know. No, I think Gatlinburg-Pittman, one of their best players is out. Carlitos Lopez is a very tall, speedy, fast wide receiver who also plays in the secondary, and that offense just didn't look the same without him last night.
Okay, I didn't know that.
He had a 1-game suspension because of an ejection, and Gatlinburg-Pittman, I don't think, felt that they had the evidence to overturn that, and so they didn't really even make the appeal, and so he wasn't there last night. So that passing game that they have to complement Bryce Akey out of the backfield just didn't look the same last night, and I think it showed, and I'm sure they wish they could have had Carlitos Lopez. So I'm not saying they would have won that game. I'm just saying that wasn't the true GP that we got last night.
Okay. Jesse, we have an Oak Ridge homer. It's also a fair weather guy that walked in the studio earlier because he was concerned about David having a rough night watching Fulton lose to Clinton. And it's sort of...
Clinton lose to Fulton.
Yeah, Clinton lose to Fulton. So I'm going to ask you a question. You have 1 or 2 ways to go here. Does Oak Ridge have a better chance of winning out against Mount Juliet, Powell, and Fulton, or do they have a better chance of losing all 3 games?
That's a loaded question, ain't it?
Yeah. Say it again.
Okay, so Oak Ridge has 3 games left. They have Mount Juliet at Mount Juliet, Powell at Powell, and Fulton at Fulton. Do you think they have a better chance of winning all 3 games or losing all 3 games? What would the odds say?
I would say the probability would be them losing all 3 games. I would say the higher probability. Now, do I think that that's going to happen? No. But Mount Juliet's been one of the better defensive programs in the state over the last 3 or 4 years, and I think they're 5-2 right now and still playing good defense. And that's going to be a difficult road game for Oak Ridge next week. And of course, Powell is one of the better 5A teams in the state. So it's crunch time right now for Oak Ridge, and that's the last thing that they want is to lose out, especially a loss to Fulton, which would really derail their hopes for any kind of postseason run.
Coach Gaddis, have them ready. Jesse.
Oh yeah.
We have both, David and I both have heard this, and I don't know. I know you've heard some rumblings, but a lot of our callers obviously are really into 4A football, and we have heard that Alcoa, Fulton, Gibbs, Carter, Seymour, they're all looking to play 4A football after the next classification. Do you know a lot of detail on that right now? I know it's a long time away, but have you heard the same thing?
I've heard some of those schools in terms of a Fulton possibly dropping down into 4A. I haven't heard Alcoa necessarily moving up to from 3A to 4A. So that's something we're definitely working on, because this is obviously the last year in this classification cycle, and things can kind of change mightily in the landscape of East Tennessee football going into the 2020 season. But I definitely think you're going to see some movement. That's just natural, and for a program like Fulton, who has probably seen its numbers drop, I think that would behoove them to drop down in 4A if they can.
Yeah, they dressed 34 kids tonight.
That's incredible. I mean, you don't think that about Fulton football, but it's
you know, if I'm Coach
Rankin,
I think going to 4A is a good move. You go, you have the Greenvilles and the Anderson County and maybe the Fulton, and all of a sudden you've got you a pretty good region right here to play in, and it's probably more competitive throughout the year.
Well, I can tell you one thing: Alcoa is going to be very calculated in the way that they do their movement. They're going to find out as much as they can in terms of who's going where, and if it's going to affect them one way or the other. So they like winning championships, and they're going to do what they can to keep those coming in.
And don't you think it's fair to say they're good enough to go play in 4A football and have a lot of success and maybe even championship success?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Alcoa's sideline and their teams and their depth, and it's not a typical 3A looking type of squad. I mean, they can hang with 6A programs out there. So I don't think if they did jump up to 4A that it would be a difficult transition. Much like, you remember when Maryville made the move to 6A, and they kind of got exposed in that first 6A state championship against White Station, maybe athletically and depth-wise. I don't think you would see that same, maybe I'm not going to call it a struggle, but same type of moment where your program's kind of put under the magnifying glass, and you're like, oh, wow, look at that. That, Maryville's not able to compete at this level yet. I don't think you would see that with Alcoa in 4A.
Big week next week, obviously, for high school football. I know you've got to be looking for ahead to some games because this week was sort of slow. Talk to us a little bit about that, and then we're going to let you go. Everybody's want to talk to David and I tonight.
Okay. Well, obviously next week gets started with Bearden and Farragut on Thursday night, and Bearden's come out of nowhere to kind of make themselves relevant in 6A football with a couple wins over the last 2 weeks, and they're starting to climb up the region standings. And Farragut took one on the chin tonight against Dobbins-Bennett, and so this game has a lot of meaning in terms of playoff seeding, and whenever you can throw that into a heated rivalry like Bearden and Farragut, it's going to spice that game up even more. And then, of course, Friday you got the Powell West game that everybody's been looking forward to since really the preseason. And as both teams have kind of trudged along undefeated, the game's generated more and more hype. And some people at Powell don't like my rankings because I've had West ahead of Powell, and they've let that be known. And so there's a lot of bad blood in this game already, and should be fantastic next week.
Hey, Jesse, let me ask you one more question. Was the South Pitt Meigs County game, was that an upset tonight, or was that how it should have went? South Pitt ended up winning that game?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I saw they were ahead pretty well, and it's a good Meigs County team, one that's been there in the state semifinals and had really nice years over the last couple of years. And I think South Pitt has shown everybody that they're capable of getting to Cookeville, and that's something that should worry Greenback fans or Coalfield fans or whoever might have to play them in the playoffs. So South Pitt looks to be South Pitt again, and I wouldn't call it an upset, but it probably turned a few heads.
Absolutely. Well, I know you got a lot of work to do. Safe travels back from Coalfield. Hate you couldn't stop by to see the set here. And
yeah, we'd put you on, man. We'd let you in charge.
Homer. Did you
All right, guys,
Five-Star
we'll
Live
talk to you
tonight?
next week. No 5-Star Live tonight. We've had some flu hit the 5-Star Live family and some people that have passed away, and so it was a light week, and we figured let's take a week off and we'll pick back up next week. So we'll be around for week 9 and beyond.
All right, look forward to talking to you next week, Jesse.
So long the totem pole. I didn't know that.
I heard that, man. See, go ahead, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, for your information, Powell did play tonight.
Oh, Powell
They
did.
got beat by West, 27-14. Got beat by West.
That's incorrect.
No, I don't think Powell played tonight. They were off tonight.
I was at Powell High School redoing their gym floor. They were on a bye week. They play West this coming
Well, the
week.
score on the channels is 27-14. West beat them.
Score
So
on what channel?
have a good night.
All right. What channel's he talking about?
I don't know.
We're looking at our channel, and there ain't no 27-14.
Yeah.
No, I think they're off
He might
tonight,
be watching
man.
a previously recorded from last year.
Maybe from last year. Hey, let's tell you, we're going to jump out and take a break. We'll be right back just in a few minutes. 483-8112, that's our number. You can give us a call.
Well,
okay. Maybe we're not going to take a break.
I wonder if the caller just maybe looked at last year's schedule or something.
I don't know.
We do have a Powell fan. That might be him.
That might be him.
But yeah, that is incorrect.
All right, we'll just keep talking. 483-8112. We're just going to take a break, but we'll catch it when we get a chance here. I think he's outside. Must be
I think
helping
Brad just pulled up.
Brad just pulled up. He's helping him.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if you went to a game tonight, we've had a lot of people from Clinton call tonight. We appreciate your calls and your concerns, because there is concerns there, but we'll see. So Jesse thought Oak Ridge would lose the next 3.
No, he said there was a higher probability they would lose the next 3 more so than win the next 3, and I understand that.
I would think that Coach Gaddis probably needs to call me, and he probably needs to have me at the Pizza Inn on Wednesday night, even though one of his fans doesn't want me to come down there.
Well,
he said they don't need me.
He's such a fair weather fan. You know, one game last year, I think he left up here at halftime because he wasn't feeling it. You know, it might have been a little cold. Yeah. And he's hanging out with, who was he hanging out with? T. Martin or?
Yeah, he lets on like he's hanging out with T. Martin. He ain't
Chris
Lofton. He ain't hanging out with nobody.
And maybe Chris.
He don't even know. If Chris Lofton walked through that door right now, you wouldn't know him. And if he smacked him in the head, that's about what he's going to get from me.
You know something. You know something's wrong.
I'm going to smack him in the head.
You know something's wrong.
After I throw him through that door. I'm going to say it a little bit different this time.
Well, and I'll video it. That way we can record it.
And we'll play it for Coach Gaddis.
Yeah. But here's what I was going to tell you. When did it ever become Oak Ridge football when one of their homers walks into our place and starts telling us about the Michigan transfers and how good Oak Ridge basketball is going to be because of these Michigan transfers in the middle of football season?
Never.
I mean, how does that make Joe feel?
So, I
Hall of Fame football coach, and they're talking basketball.
You know, you can tell the fan base, or let's not call the fan base out. Let's call him out. He's on basketball. He's not concentrating on football right now.
Oh, it's sad.
He could care less about football.
Yeah, but I got to say, I'm a Tennessee fan. That's sort of
he don't know who he's for.
Well, that's true. That's true. He's not walking here next week with a West shirt.
And then what I really thought was funny, he comes to the door tonight, and he thinks the door is locked.
It says pull.
It says pull. He thinks the door is locked. I don't know if he went to Oak Ridge High School or not, but I know they got a pretty good educational system. He needs to go back through it again. Yeah. Well, he couldn't get the door open. He thought we'd locked him out. If I'd have known that, I'd have propped it open so he could have walked on through it, because we weren't.
It works a lot easier for you to throw him out the door when it's a pull.
Pull, right? That's right. You go out the door faster. So
we got a call there. So.
Yeah, let's get it here. Well, wait a minute. Let's see what's blinking and what's not. There's 2 lines tied up, and there's one.
Friday night lights must not be on yet.
I don't know what the deal is.
I think that one's. Well, there you go.
One dropped. Good caller, you on the air?
Hey, Quinn.
Hey.
Hey, buddy, I wasn't gonna call in there, but I heard you talking about Clinton. I'm a Clinton fan. I ain't gonna mention my name. We know each other very well. It was disgusting tonight to look up in the stands and not see nobody there, really. I hate it for the kids more so than I do anything, because they're out there playing the game. I mean, I remember when I played there, I looked up in the stands. It was pretty exciting to see the stands full of people. Coaching-wise, I mean, yeah, but your buddy there said it best earlier. I mean, 4 turnovers, put the ball on the ground. That one play on the 3 or 4 yard line, that wasn't a fumble.
No, it wasn't.
But
TV showed that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, his knees went down first.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's what the TV showed. His knee was down before the ball came out.
That's a big call going
That's
against
a huge
you when
call.
you never won a game all year.
Oh, yeah, that was huge. And that took the life out of him, I believe, right there. But as far as being committed, I agree with you 100%, David. I'm old school just like you are. You gotta be committed to whatever you're doing. It don't matter if it's your job, playing ball, whatever. You got to have a full commitment. And I understand fall break. I mean, my family goes on fall break every year on vacation, but I don't have a kid playing football. If I was playing football, we'll probably have to change that. That's just the way it is. I mean, I think they have one kid, the Cooper kid. He was on vacation tonight.
Who's that?
The Cooper kid.
Oh.
He was on vacation.
Yeah, and you know what the bad thing about that? He's a good football player.
He's one of the best ones they got.
He is. You're right. 100%. He is good. But now to sort of try to take up for him a little bit, I'm told he's injured too right now. So
that's what I was told too, Dave.
So I don't know if he is or not. I'm gonna give him the break on his side that he is injured. They said tonight was a shoulder injury. They hoped he'd be back and be able to be back next week. So I don't know. I mean, not after they're off next week. The following week for homecoming, they hoped he'd be back from Campbell County. So maybe that's what maybe that's the deal with him. So I don't know. But no, you're right. I'll say it again for about the 4th time. I was hoping today. I told Jim Harris on the radio today. I hoped that the Clinton crowd turned out. It didn't look like it did. I was disappointed that the band wasn't there. I don't understand that. So I don't know. Maybe
I don't either.
It don't make no sense.
I do know this. If I was a coach and a kid was injured and he missed 2 games of not being there and he could be there and he chose to go somewhere else and he was anything but a senior, he'd have a hard time being on my football team or my basketball team or anything else. I mean, you practiced with these guys. You went through the whole season playing in 2 days in spring and summer and everything else. And
I agree.
All of a sudden, we got 0 wins. I've got an injury. I'm gonna go to Myrtle Beach or wherever and hang out.
Yeah, it's easy to miss, man. When the times are hard, that's when you need it. You got to circle the ranks and tighten up a little bit.
You took the words out of my mouth. If they had a winning season, the stands would be full.
Yep.
But,
even the fans, man. You don't need fair weather fans. You need fans that's on the wagon all the time.
We got fair weather fans join the show.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, we appreciate your call. Okay.
Hey, see y'all.
All right, thanks, man. Hey, let's jump out here and take a break. We'll be right back.
30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Here is Helen Hammond.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases.
Face on down!
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Welcome back to the 5-star. What's he trying to do over? Is he trying to get on TV? He's lucky. He's lucky we're even letting him in here tonight. After he got us all jacked up there, got me ranting, got me fired up, got me fired and everything else. But welcome back to 5-star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. Short, scoot over a little bit, Cox, so he can get in the picture.
Yeah, let me get in the middle, actually.
No, I don't want you in the middle, because I'll punch you out.
Right here, I got to keep you and Queener separated.
You've already caused enough trouble as it is tonight. Just sit over and be. Just sit over and be quiet, okay? And if you can't do that, we'll go to another commercial break. We come back, we'll be back to 2. So you just sit over and be quiet. We'll run the show, not you. All right? Anyway, I don't know, he's.
Oh, no.
I've never seen anybody just comes in. He just comes in and takes over, wants to sit down and take over. And he's not no more of an Oak Ridge fan than I am, but he's wanting to act like he is. But
hey, Joe, you're watching because we know you do.
That's right.
Do you even know this guy?
No, he doesn't know him.
Just send me a text, call.
And I tell you what, I wasn't going to Pizza Inn Wednesday night, but I wouldn't miss now for nothing. Because I hope he's there Wednesday night. I'm pointing him out to Coach Gaddis, and I'm going to take his pass, take whatever he's got from you, take it away from him. You'll be at no more games. They're going to ban you from the stadium.
And if he keeps working, I'm going to call Aaron Green and make sure he's done the same for Wildcat Arena.
Oh, he's hyped on basketball because that's all he wanted to tell us. We got some transfers from
Big
Michigan.
time transfers.
Big time transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big time transfers.
Man, you guys love me this much. I need to show up more often. You guys talk about me more than you talk about Clinton.
Yeah.
I'm
not talking about.
Speaking of Clinton.
Let me tell you what we've done tonight. We have talked about Clinton all night long. So don't come in here and want to know how they done. You already know how they done. They didn't do very well tonight. The fans are disappointed. Everybody's disappointed. They're 0-8.
Daddies are disappointed.
Mamas and daddies are disappointed. So you don't need to talk about Clinton. What you need to do is worry about if Oak Ridge is going to win the next 3 ball games. That's what you need to worry about.
Queener, do your job and answer that call.
Do what?
Do your job, answer that call.
I will.
He's going to be short-lived here.
Yeah, you're going to be long here. Go ahead, caller, you on the air.
Now, Queener, you be nice to Cody.
Oh, no, I'll hang up on you, too.
Hey, I've known that boy since he was in 4th grade. It's all right.
Can I do?
Oh, what's your name?
It's Christy from Pizza Inn, from Dillis Elementary.
Oh. It's so good to see you. You see, I'm already boosting their ratings up. Can you believe this?
You can't see her.
Can't see her.
You can't see
Hey, Quinter, let the king take over from
You
now.
can't see her.
Let me take over.
You can't see her.
We appreciate you calling in at this great channel and these great people. Me and Quinter have a love-hate relationship. He acts like he hates me, but, you know, I hold his hand and I say, hey, it's going to be okay. Clinton will do good next year. They'll be fine.
Now, wait a minute. You don't see her. Where do you see her at?
Did I cuss on live TV?
Oh, good grief. Y'all are nuts.
Listen, I don't know if he knows where you live, but we're sending him your way.
No, that's all right.
Hey. I thought we were cool. What happened? Do I need to see you at Pizza Inn? Don't make me come down there, too.
What's JR doing?
He's sitting in the living room watching y'all.
Man, he's smart.
Is he an Auburn Springs fan?
JR? No, JR's a Clinton guy.
No, he ain't neither.
No, they're big Auburn Springs fans. Both of them are.
Hey, big game for Auburn Springs coming up.
Cofield.
Yes, I know.
You gonna be ready for that game?
Well, I don't know. I think I am.
This is the first time you've called in this year that I've been here. You might have called in previously when I've not been here.
Though.
But yeah, they said you better not overlook Oakdale next week. So, but are you still going to the ball games? You and JR still going?
We do every once in a while.
Well,
I actually went back to work now, so.
JR's put you back. JR's fixing to retire. Then he's gonna let you work a while.
Well, yeah, you might say that. I don't know.
I heard that. But I don't blame him. But anyway, Auburn Springs got a pretty good football team this year. You got something to go cheer about. They got a pretty good football team.
And the funniest thing is, everybody's asked us, do you all have somebody that plays? Do you have a kid that plays? No, we don't. But we got one that's going to play one of these days.
I understand that. But,
that's awesome.
Yeah, y'all are big fans down there. So you need to get out here in a couple of weeks when they play Cofield, because I think that game's at Oliver Springs. So that's a game you need to go to for sure. That'll be packed down there.
Caller, just real quick, is the gentleman here to my left, is he an Oliver Springs fan or an Oak Ridge fan?
I couldn't tell you.
I'm both. I went to Oliver Springs in middle school and I transferred to Oak Ridge my freshman year. I root for both teams, but I graduated from Oak Ridge.
We knew that you were on the fence about Oak Ridge. I don't know why. You're a little bit Oliver Springs.
They'll let anybody on this show that's evident with me being on it, but we really will let him with him being on it. I mean, you've heard our ratings tonight. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I've gotten 3 texts right now from Dave Clare.
Hey, well, but I'll tell you something funny though.
Uh-oh.
We're one of the very few in the stands that has a 3-year-old. When they're at home and we have a football game on, he's running around the house saying, "Go Bobcats!"
I love it. Maybe he can help my buddy out because he don't know who to cheer for. He don't know if it's a Bobcat or a Wildcat.
Can't tell the difference. I need better glasses.
That's sort of like Aaron.
But I do want to say one last thing.
All right, say it.
Cody, I'm glad you cut your hair off, boy.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much. Continue calling in at Channel 12.
Yeah, call us back
Always.
next week. All right, see you.
Go Bobcats.
Bye.
See you, JR.
Go Wild Bobcat.
There you go.
Anyway.
Can we go to commercial and change
We're here
his
just a second. He's just like Eric. Because Eric's not for sure who he's for.
Super fan.
Aren't you a Fulton fan too?
Hold on, let him talk.
Eric is for Oliver Springs and for Cofield. He don't know who he's for. He says he's a super fan for Oliver Springs, and he says he's a super fan for Cofield.
Yep.
So I think the week of the Cofield Oliver Springs game, he's got to.
But on 10/25, he's going to be wearing an Oliver Springs jersey with a black cheerleading skirt.
It's a big game for both teams next week.
10/25. 10/25.
You said Oz and Oak Ridge. It's a big game next week for
Oz.
Oz
plays Cofield.
No.
No, they don't.
No, Cofield's off. Then they play Oliver Springs. Hey, don't come in here unless you know what you're talking about.
Hey.
Now to Jesse's made a comment earlier about Mount Juliet. I watched a Coach Gaddis show this past Wednesday night, and Coach Gaddis talked about Mount Juliet's defense. How good a defense that Mount Juliet actually had. So.
Yep, and Jesse did the same. I know last year we talked about them. I think for a while they didn't even give up a touchdown for the first 3 or 4 games last year.
Coach Gaddis might have made reference to that this past Wednesday night. So
they've got a tough game next week with Mount Juliet. That's by far. In fact, they've got a tough game the next week too with Powell. So more important game the next week with Powell than the Mount Juliet game.
If you lose those two games, you've got to go beat Fulton going to the playoffs.
Yeah, just have some momentum, I think you do.
Yeah,
I sure do. I think you got just for the momentum. Let's get this call here. Quick caller, you're on the air.
Is Anderson County off tonight?
Yes, they were off.
They were off all week.
They're off all week.
Been off all week?
Yep.
Who they play next Friday?
Who they play next Friday?
I want to say, yeah, they do play Chattanooga Central at Chattanooga Central.
They play away at Chattanooga Central next week.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, just what we was talking about earlier, some of the rumors that are floating around. That'll change that pizza league up a little bit, won't it?
Yeah, it'd be like the Firehouse Sub League or something.
We have to go to the Firehouse Sub League,
Yeah,
won't it?
yeah, it's going to step up a little bit.
It's going to step up a little
You
bit.
get Alcoa and Fulton, Gibbs, Seymour, those schools in there. Anytime Alcoa moves into a region, you get a filet mignon. But you know, that's big news. And I understand where Josh Stevens is coming from, the athletic director there. If you make that move, and you've got Fulton, and you've got Carter and Seymour and Anderson County, then all of a sudden you've got your own region right here, and you don't have to travel a whole lot. And if you get 6 or 7 teams, then Alcoa's not trying to find five or six games. I think the region they're in right now is really small, and they're having to find 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, they're not having to play people like Kingsport. I mean,
Blackman.
They're going to play Maryville anyway. But
Yeah.
Blackman and people like that, they're not having to play those people. So
Yeah.
that would make
that changes Anderson County's world a lot.
But hadn't Fulton played Greenville in the past?
Yeah, but now they were both 4A. Fulton moved up to play 5A football.
So, but they had played in the past though.
Yes, they had played in the past. Actually, the last time I think Robbie Black got beat by Greenville, and that's when they went on that run of 3 straight state championships. And I think in 2 of those years, I know one of those years for sure, they beat Greenville. Yeah.
Well, it's sort of died off a little bit with the high school football aspect of it.
Or maybe someone who we added to the
I tell you
set.
what, we need to take a break, Brad, or you want to just keep on?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck driving days many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard. Let's go to the phone here. I believe we got Coach Tapp. Coach Tapp, congratulations on a big win tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Coach, Midway's had a pretty good year this year. What did you do tonight? I mean, what do you think the difference was tonight?
Well, I know our record's not the best, but we played a really tough schedule, and our kids, they're not going to lay down. So I think we just went over and showed character and played hard and did what we were supposed to do and had a good game plan, and we executed it. Both teams played absolutely to the point of they left everything on the field. I mean, both communities should be proud of their kids.
Well, Coach, just from what I know of your program and the years I've covered it here at Channel 12, I would have been shocked if you'd have said your kids were going to lay down, because I've never seen that out of Harriman. So I would never expect that. What's left of your season? Who have you got coming up?
Well, we got, of course, it's fall break this week. We got Greenback, and then we end with Oakdale. At the meeting, we drew the open date the week before playoffs.
Last week.
So, that's what we got left.
Hey, Coach, we've had this question tonight, and I know you probably don't mind to share this. You drew open day in a meeting with coaches.
Right.
Explain how that works, and also explain sort of how putting a schedule to go works. I can't talk.
Well, how that works, and a lot of people don't understand, but we're in a 7-team region, which means 6 of our teams will be playing during region weeks, but 1 team will be off because it's uneven.
Yep.
So what happens at the meeting, you draw a number out of a hat, and when that number's drawn, it automatically gives you your bye date. Because they'll say, like, well, 1 plays 2, 3 plays 4, 5 plays 6, and 7's off this week. So you really have no control over your open date. You draw it out of a hat, and then the numbers match up. So that part of it with the region's set. Now your non-region games, of course, you put in those non-region weeks, and you play. Sometimes it's hard. Some people are able to put that together, I don't know how you say it, better schedules or whatever than others. We try to play, of course, Kingston, Rockwood, Wartburg's close, and has always been a good game. This year the only thing we did different, we went with Monterey instead of Oneida. And just being honest, Monterey's 8-0. But it come to, where do you want to drive? You want to get on a bus and hit the interstate and go to Monterey, or do you want to go through the curves and go up to Oneida? And, we've been scrimmaging Monterey, so we went with Monterey.
Coach, can I ask you a question there to interrupt you?
Yeah.
Even though you drew the last week, if Monterey had that last week open, could you have played Monterey there and had the open week there in September?
Yes.
You could have. Okay.
If you can match it up, that way you can switch it around. I think that Cofield and Oneida are actually playing during a region week.
Week 11, they are.
Yes, but what happened, I think it was Sunbright had a way they could play somebody else. Anyway, they switched it around and worked it out. So sometimes things like that do happen, but, if I could have found somebody to have played me during that week, non-region, but everybody has region games, So that, for me, I was just kind of stuck with it. And to be honest, it's not a bad deal if you're going to be in the playoffs and make the playoffs. It gives you a week to possibly get some injured guys healed up and get them back,
The only thing I could see, Coach, it would be really bad if you somehow had to bye the week 1 of playoffs and all of a sudden you're 2 weeks off and playing a quarterfinal game. That could be pretty rough.
Well, and you look, Greenback did that, last year. I think, Oakdale ended up having to forfeit.
Yeah.
Then their first round playoff game, Unaka couldn't play it. So they're sitting there, not playing for 3 weeks, basically.
Wow.
So that did happen last year with them, but again, you basically draw that stuff out of a hat, and there's not much you can do about it unless you can match up, like you guys said, trade around and match up somehow, and people are willing to help you out.
Coach, I know you want to talk about your kids. Tell us who had a good game tonight.
Well, first, let me say this. 21-20, our little kicker, Mr. Adam Connor, he's a kid that, had never even played football and come out, and, the kid takes a sack of balls. He works the entire 2 hours of practice on his kicking, and it made the difference tonight. He's a great kid. Kids love him to death, so he was big. Dylan Coke had a good game. Bradley Frost threw it well. Colin Love had some big catches. Number 4, Bryson Goodman, had some nice runs, but just overall it was a team effort. We had a good stop there toward the end of the game. We held midway there inside our 10. We ended up actually with the ball, I think it was on the 2. We ended up just running out the clock, just diving forward and trying to run out the clock and getting it in overtime. So, it was just a total team effort.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time tonight to call us, and congratulations on the big win. Go enjoy it, and we'll talk to you later.
We appreciate you guys covering us. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Coach.
One of the really good coaches in the area at Harriman. He works hard. His kids work hard. He's one of my favorites.
A game I'll never forget.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Brad calls me, I think, on Friday at lunch. Hey, can you be down here tonight? Yeah. And we go down there and it rains.
It's the Thursday night game, wasn't it? Was it a Friday night game?
It was Thursday. Calls me on Thursday, yeah.
We did a Thursday night.
And if you remember, we sat in your truck.
We did Thursday and Friday.
That's right. That is right. Thursday, Saturday. We did Thursday, Saturday.
Right.
And if you remember, that's all right. You're a little disrupted.
Yeah. That's all I can do to hold myself back.
Yeah. Now that you found out he's got a brother playing for Clinton.
Let me tell you, this guy, he comes in here, he's for Oliver Springs, he's for Oak Ridge. Now he tells us he's got a brother that plays for Clinton that caught a touchdown pass tonight.
So who's he cheering for in the Oak Ridge Clinton game?
He didn't have I guarantee he's on the Clinton sideline tonight. I bet money he's on the Clinton. Oak Ridge, that's why he's got orange on.
Are you Clinton's water boy? There's a guy that looks a lot like you.
You look just like Clinton's water boy. You and Anthony, you can?
Man, they're just roasting me right here. I got nothing for them.
That's right.
You ain't got nothing,
hey, listen,
that's for
you
sure.
was going to ask Cox a question. Ask Cox if he knows who you've been talking about. He said he didn't know you was talking about. And I'm going to tell Cox who he is. What was his name? You said somebody said for you to give me a hard time? What's that guy?
Listen, David Clary is the man, myth, and legend. Don't let Jonathan Cox fool you because Dave Clary is the man.
Who is David Clary?
He sells popcorn for the Atlanta Braves.
I don't know him.
You don't know him?
Are you dissing my boy Dave Clary? Don't make me come over there.
Never been to a Braves game, I don't guess.
I will come over there.
For the Braves.
How does you go to Braves games too?
Hey, you know what? I think Joe Gaddis would rather have Dave Clary on that bus instead of you.
He might.
I know Joe Gaddis.
No, he does do something for the Braves. I don't know what he does.
I don't know.
I know he does something for the Braves.
Yeah, he does the radio broadcasts.
But his Braves days are over with. He can be at Oak Ridge full time now.
So this Clary guy's like a Braves announcer?
He's kind of a big deal around here. Who are you?
He does something. Public relations or something. He does something. Huh. No, he's done radio in Oak Ridge forever. He's
been here since the early 70s. He went to high school with my mother. Dave Clary, correct me on that.
So hold on.
He does radio.
Oh.
He does a coach's show on Wednesday
But he's
night.
a loyal Wildcat fan.
I love the Wildcats.
He's
love the Wildcats.
If I had a question that I wanted to ask about Oak Ridge football and wanted somebody that knew the history of it, he would probably be somebody that I would call because he probably can tell you
more about Oak Ridge football than anybody that I know. I mean,
Wonder if
there
he
might
can-
be somebody else that can do that too. but
Wonder if he can
Clary would
convince
be the
him to
guy.
actually be a true fan.
No, he probably knows he's not a true fan.
Me and Clay
And
go
I
back.
tell you what, I'm gonna ask him Wednesday night because I'm going to Coach Gaddis' show Wednesday night. I'm gonna pop in just.
Oh,
because
Mr.
he-
Clary's the guy that does the show when
he
we
does
were
the
down there
show.
last year?
Yeah. Yeah, David
Yeah,
does
yeah,
the
yeah.
show.
No big deal. Been around longer than Queen over here. Fulton and Clinton fan. I have to ask you something though. When Tyler Thaxton was a senior, I remember on the Wednesday night show, and you know what's coming, that you picked Clinton to beat Oak Ridge, but Clinton got stomped in that game. What happened?
Oak Ridge won.
Joe Gaddis.
Joe Gaddis.
I guess we'll leave it at that. I guess.
What's the big deal with that? What are we gonna go back 4 or 5 years?
Hey, man, you're
As
right.
Ron Berry used to tell me, don't pick with your heart no more, pick with your brain. So I'm a loyal Clinton. And you know, what happened with you when you picked Oak Ridge to beat Hardin Valley this year and they didn't?
So
well, no, you don't have to
let me
answer
answer
that.
my question.
No, I'm not going to
So let me ask you
Move
that. So
on.
at the beginning of the season, they did lose, but it's not how you start. It's how you finish. And where's Clinton?
Well, Clinton's not one
Clinton and
game.
Oak Ridge has finished the same place for
What
about
if-
the last, since not, what, 1998?
Yeah, what if Oak Ridge loses to the next 3 and they wind up just being 5-5?
Guess we'll just have to wait and see now, won't we?
We're gonna
Where's
wait
my
and
crystal
see.
ball?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball. But as Coach Gaddis said last Friday night, hey, you need to come to the show because every time you come to the show, we win.
That's
Well,
true.
you know what? This is true. I can't deny that. Show
Yeah.
up more often.
So, you know, watch it. Anyway, tomorrow, what time's the kickoff tomorrow?
Heard
12?
noon.
Noon, 12 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah.
12 o'clock kickoff tomorrow for the Vols. You want to ask, if you got anything you want to talk about the Vols, there's not much to talk about there, just like there's not much to talk about at Clinton tonight. So, but anyway, 483-8112, give us a call, and we'll talk about, what'd you say you thought the score would be?
I think the Vols win tomorrow, maybe like 2017, 2013.
Sloppy game.
Something in that. Yeah, I don't think it'll be real pretty. You got two of the worst teams in the SEC. There you go, 12 o'clock, SEC Network. Anyway, I think Tennessee's got a little life under them with the quarterback change. And I think Mississippi State's coming up here. They're going to kick a game off, 11 o'clock Central. And I think Tennessee's crowd, fan base will be there tomorrow. I think they feel like it's a game they can win. I see Tennessee winning tomorrow.
They've shown up to even games they've lost. Even the Georgia game.
Yeah, not really. If you were in that game, I went to that game.
But let me ask you, didn't you think Tennessee at least played a little bit better, a little bit more respectable during part of that game, the first part of that game?
Georgia game?
The Georgia
Absolutely.
game.
100%.
Tennessee played hard and played with some passion because that's how they're coached. And the quarterback gave them a little bit of life. His analogy that he used, that Garantano is a good shooter if it was basketball, but he's a guy that's off and can't make one right now. And you got to go with somebody else in that situation.
Hot hand.
But that throw, that young man, what's his name?
Brian Meyer?
Yeah, Meyer made to Jennings across the middle for a touchdown. That's a big time throw. That's a throw that Garantano throws up in the crowd.
So we know we've got Alabama still looming out there on the schedule, and then after Alabama, it's UAB, then we've got UAB, Missouri, Vandy, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that Tennessee loses to Alabama?
I think he's almost going
runs
to
the table?
flip the role from last year.
You think we run the table, wind up 6-6?
No, I don't think he goes 6-6. I think he ends up winning maybe 3 SEC games, 2 to 3 SEC games, and maybe wins a total of 5 games.
5 and 7 again.
But
and-
see, it was flipped last year.
I think the team may have trouble in the SEC beat. It's going to be Missouri.
Yeah, I think they can beat.
They're always. It's
I
like
think
they're
they'll
a
beat
pain in
Mississippi
they're a pain
State.
in the side.
I think Mississippi State and Vandy are 2 of your more winnable games. That Kentucky game in Kentucky, I don't know if we're going to win that football game just yet.
Kentucky's not playing very well.
Yeah.
Hey, tomorrow down in Baton Rouge, Florida and LSU. I was really shocked last week that Florida beat Auburn. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I thought Auburn would beat Florida.
Florida's got the second best coach in the SEC.
The second best coach in the
What?
SEC.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. The best play caller in the SEC. Dan Mullen is the
Well-
best play caller in the SEC, and he's the second best coach in the
So
SEC.
you telling me that Florida's going to LSU tomorrow? I think it's a night game, I think.
and they're going to win?
And they're not going to win, but they've got the second best coach in the SEC.
They're not going to win. Okay.
Yeah, I think LSU wins that football game.
think LSU wins
but
that football
I'm
game?
serious. If you look at Dan Mullen and what he's done, how many people could win at the level he's won at Mississippi State?
Well, I think he just went to Mississippi. He did a really good job recruiting.
And he did a really good job of coaching.
And he did a really good job coaching.
Butch Jones had good recruits.
But you've got to get when you get the recruits, you've got to coach them.
There you go.
And I think that's what the problem is at Tennessee right now. We've still got some Butch Jones guys around, and we need to get Pruitt guys around, and then let's make our mind up on Pruitt. We don't need to be going through trying to find another football coach.
He's got
right
2
now,
or 3 more years for sure.
Well, you've
I was
got
about to ask if you're giving him
you've
another
gotta
year.
Give him a couple years. A couple more years.
He's
give
got to
him
get
a
all
chance.
that Butch Jones culture out of there.
Got to get that culture out of there. It's got to go, man.
Yep.
I mean, it's just got to go. So, I tell you what, let's take a final break, and when we come back, we'll either talk to you or we'll wind this thing down. Let's take another break. We'll be right back just in a couple minutes.
Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
1952. That's the year Hammers opened the first store in East Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores, and there's always something new. Like in Hammer's popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammers.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Welcome back to the 5-Star Prep Friday Night Scoreboard, and glad the ones that people have called not have called in. We appreciate your calls as always, and we look forward to talking to you every Friday night. So Cox thinks Tennessee's going to win. Did you say what the score would be?
I think they'll win like 20-14, 2017.
Man, I picked Tennessee a couple of times this year, and I don't know. I'm not going to pick them.
What's Mississippi State's record?
I don't have any idea. I don't care, just to be honest with you. Why should I care what Mississippi?
What's the
You know, I
scoreboard?
don't understand you. I don't care what Mississippi's record is. Why should I care?
Tennessee in the 30s.
It's like when
Mississippi
Alabama
State.
comes in. I don't care what Alabama's record is. Just beat them.
It's going to rain tomorrow over there.
It's going to rain. Just beat them. Just
We
beat
ain't beating Alabama. I'll tell you that
You don't
much.
know that.
Yeah, you don't know.
Maybe Alabama has to suspend 40 or 50 players.
Well-
They have to bring some kids up that ain't never played it down. Who knows?
Okay.
Miracles happen.
Yeah, miracles do happen. And pigs fly.
That's right.
Georgia
Pigs
State
fly.
beat Tennessee.
Georgia State beat Tennessee.
Oh, are we? Come on.
That's a miracle.
Georgia State's got a big game tomorrow.
Who they play?
They play Coastal Carolina.
Oh, that's your
Jamie
buddy.
Chadwell.
Jamie Chadwell.
5 o'clock kickoff.
Well, I'm a little shocked
My
tonight.
dad and mom are going, I think.
Yeah, you said that last
Yeah.
week. I'm a little shocked tonight that with our breaking news we had tonight there, some teams that's looking to move 4A, that somebody from AC didn't call us and
They don't call.
give us their opinion.
I wake up to the text messages.
Well, I wouldn't. You know what I would do? I would wake up one morning early before they got up, and they'd wake up to my text messages.
I'm just telling you, they
That's
don't.
a two-way street.
Yeah, they won't call.
Well,
Yeah, they'll just text.
they'll just text.
And then this one's going to be, who told you about the Alcoa deal? Well, I've already said, right?
Yeah.
You've watched the show.
Watch
why
the show,
they would do it.
just call.
So,
Well, I'm surprised Richie Noah hadn't called, or not necessarily called, but shot a text or something. So
well, he's probably trying to figure out when they're moving to 4A. He's got a son that's a freshman.
I don't know, but does he? Is he a
I
freshman?
think Gavin's a freshman.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was a little older than that. Maybe he is.
You know, I did notice, and I know it's a football show, but I did notice Anderson County and Oak Ridge, both girls volleyball teams won
They did?
the district tournament. District, yeah, so both of them move on to the region and hopefully maybe the sectional and the
Soon
state.
it'll be basketball.
And soon it will be basketball. That's exactly right. Well, David, nobody's calling.
Nobody's calling, and we're going to end it up. Hey, who's the game of the week next week?
Got you right here.
Oh,
Oak
that's right.
Ridge.
You're on the Mount Juliet bus.
If you need a sideline reporter, I got
Game
one
of
that
the
would like to
week.
do it.
I'll be there.
Game of the week is Oak Ridge is at Mount Juliet next week, and BB bus is
12.
going on the road, and they'll be there to bring that game back live to you. So catch us here, and
And Dave Queener, can you say roll Wildcats roll?
no, I ain't saying roll
Hold on.
Wildcats roll.
Are
What'd
you
say?
cheering for the?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Central Time next week.
Dave Clary, remember that.
8 Eastern. Okay.
Instead of 7:30 Central.
Yeah, kickoff. Brad said thinks to be at 8 Eastern next week. With no, I'm not saying that, so you don't have to ask me. I'm not going to say it. Join Coach Gaddis for his show Wednesday night, and the locker room chat following that right here on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Coach Gaddis is at 7. He's live from the Pizza Inn. Get down there and catch him and listen to him talk about Mount Juliet, and come on down and see him. He'd love to see you.
Our boy will be busy next week.
I'll be super busy.
Oak Ridge got a big game. Clinton's got a big game.
Clinton's
Auburn
off.
Springs. Oh,
So he's
Don't
he'll
come on
be-
if you don't know what you're talking about.
he'll be happy with Clinton.
He'll be happy.
I'm sorry, I thought they played Campbell County next
You're
week. I didn't
good.
know.
You're okay. We all make simple
They're
mistakes.
fine. Hey, until next Friday night, we'll see you right back here on the live Friday night scoreboard, 5-star prep Friday night scoreboard.
Christy Irwin, thanks for calling in. Tyler Jargon, Oak Ridge staff. David Clary, be safe. Love my folks.
I've never seen anybody. This is unreal.
You got to give shout outs.
We'll see you next week.
Shout out.
For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs.
That was back in my truck.
To Fox News. It's the latest from Fox News Podcasts. The Campaign with Brett Baer. With updates from reporters on the trail and in-studio experts. Brett keeps you informed on the 2020 race. Go to foxnewspodcast.com and download the Campaign with Brett Baer now.
I'm Neil Cavuto from Fox Business. In high school, I managed a fast food restaurant. I saw the power of business and the importance of making your money work for you.
I'm Liz Clayman. In life, it's not just how you invest, it's for whom you're investing. We care about your success, and we want to be a part of it.
I'm Charles Payne. I go way beyond the headlines to help you through the markets every single day. It's all about investing in your future, your American dream.
Fox Business.
Invested in you.
Download Fox News Channel's The 5 podcast for free. 5 of your favorite.
We are the Clinton High School cheerleaders here at ORUD getting fired up for tonight's game. Ready? C, C, C with an H, 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 H with an S, C with an H, H with an S, C, H, S. C, C, C with an H, 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 H with an S, C with an H, H with an S, C, H, S. Last time, C, C, C with an H, 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 H with an S, C with an H, H with an S, C, H, S.
Host your friends in style when entertaining this football season with natural gas appliances purchased from ORUD at 0% interest.
ORUD can help you clean up after the game with the reliability of a natural gas water heater and the energy savings from a gas dryer.
Want to cozy up next to a natural gas fire pit after a chilly night at the ball field? Let ORUD help you with the play-by-play to chilly make your house feel like home.
Adding a natural gas grill to your home means never having to run to the store before kickoff to fill up that propane tank again. Make the switch today. Now it's your turn to be the champion of your team and score a touchdown with ORUD and natural gas, a winning combination.
I'm alive. Come on.
welcome to Clinton Community Center for tonight's matchup on our BBB TV Game of the Week, brought to you by OEB Law. OEB Law, from the moment you call or contact, they start working on the case, and that is guaranteed. Collecting your data, getting your side of the story, opening a claim with the insurance company, and giving you needed advice. They make it easy. Electronic communication, responsive service, and getting your questions answered, filing the appropriate documents, collecting your medical records and lost wages information. When you trust them with your case, you make it simple and easy so you can focus on recovering from a crash. That's OEB Law. So glad to have them on board. I am Aaron Harvey, joined by James Gibson. Tonight, it's Fulton and it's Clinton. Week 8 out of 11. Can you believe it?
No, this season's really flown by. Just a few more weeks left in the regular season.
That's it. The two teams featured tonight have a combined record of 0-13. How surprised are you that neither of these teams have found a victory yet?
Surprise is an understatement. Fulton is one of the best programs in the state by far, and you know that. And for them to have a winless season so far, that's a shock to all of Falcon Nation. Clinton, they're still getting acclimated to new coaches, and it's going to take some time for them to continue to develop.
Now, Clinton does only return 2 starters from either side of the ball, so that might explain some of that. But we're going to go over this game that we have for you tonight. We're also going to go over other games from around the area tonight, as we are in Clinton for Fulton at Clinton. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
You guys support community here.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price.
Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is S.L. Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
And welcome back into our OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by Coach James Gibson. Playoff pictures getting a little bit clearer with each passing week. Big game tonight in Region 2, Class 3A as Scott High travels to Kingston. You got to figure Alcoa, Austin East, and Gatlinburg-Pittman are locks for the playoffs, which leaves one more spot open for Kingston, Scott, Pigeon Forge, or Northview Academy. And you got to figure that this is the most important game of the season for the Highlanders and the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, making the playoffs would be huge for both of these programs. We saw Kingston a couple times this year, and for them to be in a position now to potentially be able to pull off 4 straight games is a huge for that program right now. I'm keeping a close eye on this game.
A pretty cool game tonight with no playoff implications takes place between two undefeated, respected powerhouses as Meigs County travels to South Pittsburgh. South Pitt obviously competes in single A, Meigs in double A. 2 questions. Wouldn't you like playing such a tough opponent, or wouldn't you like playing such a tough opponent this late in the season in a game that doesn't really matter? And do you think these teams try their best to win, or do you just try to make sure nobody gets hurt?
Well, you play the game to win, and this will be one of the best games in the state of Tennessee tonight, Aaron. South Pitt is a team that is playing top-notch, scoring over 261 points and only allowing 27 all year long. This will be Meigs County's toughest opponent thus far. Big game down there.
And South Pittsburgh used to playing for state championships, trying to get there again this year. Coalfield Greenback. Do I got to say anything else?
Maybe to people who aren't from around here, I can tell you that.
Well, we've seen Coalfield this year, and we've heard a lot about Greenback. Greenback has got to be favored tonight, you would think. What does Coalfield have to do to try to take control of the region standings?
Coalfield will have to slow down that powerful Greenback offense with the likes of the Maryville transfer quarterback, Brendan Carnes. He's had over 1,817 passing yards with 22 touchdowns this year. And he plays, and they have to play mistake-free football. If they get after the quarterback, play sound in the defensive backfield, they can pull that off.
And you see on the screen there, the 45th meeting between these two teams happens tonight.
That is single-A football in East Tennessee.
It is.
There's hardly any better.
That's right. So Austin East got the win last night against Gatlinburg-Pittman, and that was a matchup that everyone looked forward to. I don't think anybody expected Gatlinburg-Pittman to be as good as they actually were coming into this season, undefeated until last night. Both talented teams. Do you suspect one of these teams can make a nice showing in the 3A playoffs until an inevitable matchup with Alcoa, which will be in round 2 or 3?
Well, after watching AE, I think they're just going to continue to get better. They have a lot of really good talent who I think could have beat Gatlinburg-Pittman even worse than they did, to be honest with you. So look for them to continue to push. Austin East is overtaking Gatlinburg-Pittman in that number 2 spot. And Austin East looks really good right now. I believe they got some Fulton kids might have jumped ship.
Well, and Austin East played Alcoa earlier in this season and actually gave them a pretty good game as far as Alcoa goes, because they're so much better than everyone else.
That they are.
And you know that because you played in that game before,
Yeah, that's one of the toughest.
So those are some of the things going on around the area tonight. We'll get into a couple more stories when we get back. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
best sport community here.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. I'm Aaron Harvey, joined by Coach James Gibson. A lot of things going on and a lot of other games around the area. So what other game or games are you interested in tonight?
Ray County 6-0 versus Chattanooga Red Bank 6-0. I think that's going to be a head knocker down there in Chattanooga.
And here is the area schedule. Of course, Pigeon Forge Northview Academy played last night, and Austin East and Gatlinburg Pittman played last night. Kind of funny, the three of the four schools in Sevier County played last night on a Thursday. Of course, Fulton at Clinton, that's where we are. Hampton at Cloudland, Greenback at Coldfield, Farragut at Dobbins-Bennett, Hickson at East Hamilton, Chattanooga Central at East Ridge, Sullivan South at Greenville, Wartburg at Jellicoe, Oneida at Kings Academy, Scott High at Kingston, West Green at Catholic, Bradley Central at Maryville, and Harriman at Midway, Sevier County at Morristown East, Meigs County at South Pitt, Oliver Springs at Sunbright, Elizabethton at Union County, and then Anderson County, Campbell County, Central, Halls, Oak Ridge, and Oakdale are all off this week.
A lot of good football in the area.
Yeah, a lot of good football in the area. So now let's take a look at the updated AP polls. This is for Class 1A. South Pitt, of course, number one. Everybody thinks they're the best team in single A right now.
Including myself.
And then you've got Huntington, Lake County, Freedom Prep, Fayetteville, Greenback, Coalfield, Monterey, Greenfield, and Cornersville. At Coalfield, Greenback at 6 and 7. Of course, those two teams play tonight. And Greenback sitting at 4-2 might be a little misleading.
Absolutely. That first two-game stretch there, Loudon and who else was it? Meigs County?
Yeah,
I believe it was Meigs County with the upset over them there. So, that's going to be a tough game tonight. And that Greenback's a lot better than that 4-2 record indicates.
It is, and we'll find out tonight what that Coalfield-Greenback matchup looks like when we see that score. Class 2A Peabody, there's Meigs County sitting at number 2 with 2 first-place votes. Watertown, Trousdale County, Forest, South Green, Lewis County, Tyner Academy, Houston County, and Fairleigh rounding out the top 10. So you've got Meigs County going up against South Pitt. People think South Pitt's the number 1 team in Class A. People think Meigs County's the number 2 team in Class 2A.
It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle.
It'll be a fun game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Class 3A, of course, you've got Alcoa, not the unanimous number 1, though, as Pearl Cone gets 1 vote. You've got Chattanooga Red Bank coming in at number 3, Gatlinburg Pittman at 4, Loudon at 5. Covington also gets a first-place vote. Upperman, East Nashville, South Gibson, and Wooddale rounding out the top 10. And that Covington team is now 6-1. They were number 2 last week, falling to number 6.
And what about Loudon? They'll move up a spot. That's such a good job that he's done over there since coming back at Loudon.
Yeah, 7-0. In Class 4A, Greenville, Elizabethton, Haywood County, Anderson County receiving a first-place vote there. Nolensville, Hardin County, Livingston Academy, Marshall County, Montgomery Central, and Springfield rounding out the top 10. In Class 5A, you've got Knox Central, the undefeated Knox Central on, an 18-game win streak now? That's incredible what Knox Central has been able to do. Beach is number 2 with 1 first-place vote. Powell sitting there at number 3, 7-0 on the year. David Crockett, number 4. Knox West at number 5. Henry County, Gallatin, Kirby, Summit, and Page rounding out the top 10.
3 Knox County teams in the top 10.
A lot of good football here in East Tennessee. In Class 6A, Oakland first with 19 first-place votes, and Maryville is second with 1 first-place vote, 7-0 and 6-0 respectively. And last week, you look at that, the top 9 are the same as Whitehaven, Bradley Central, Brentwood, Kingsport, Dobbins, Bennett coming in with a first-place vote, Ravenwood, Houston, McMinn County, and Stewart's Creek coming in to take that 10th place, and the only change from last week's AP top 10 poll in 6A. Inevitably, you got to think Maryville and Oakland are probably going to end up meeting somewhere in the playoffs.
What a game, right? That's one that you just drool over if you're looking at the potential playoff matchup there.
So you've seen the polls, you've seen everything. We've talked about it all year long. There have been some surprises this year. There's some things that nobody expected to happen. Out of all of the surprises, though, what is the biggest surprise for you so far?
Well, Powell. Powell is just really turning heads for me. He's done such a good job over there in a short period of time that it's kind of shocking. So this Powell team, they look impressive, and I can see them just keep on keeping on, and they are getting better as time goes on.
And by he, you're talking about Coach Lowe.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Powell has been such a great story. A team that didn't make the playoffs last year, would have, but had to forfeit 6 games to come back this year and be undefeated in Week 8.
And dominating.
And some of the teams that Powell has defeated, too, have been really impressive.
Great teams. When you look at some of the teams that they've beat are some of the best teams in the state of Tennessee. So I think they're going to have a deep run, potential state championship if they really keep developing.
Started off the season defeating the number 1 team in Class 4A right now, Greenville. So that and ended a long winning streak for the Green Devils. So, I tell you what, we've got a great one coming up here. It's 2 winless teams, which is going to make this a really exciting game, I think, because both of these teams vying for their first victory. We'll get back and talk about that in just a moment. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker.
A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low prices.
Race on down!
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Welcome back into the OEB Law Game of the Week. National Anthem just played. Color Guard on the field. It is Fulton. It is Clinton. For more information on OEB Law, go to reckontoacheck.com. So, Fulton Clinton, at the beginning of the year, I would have told you without a doubt that Fulton is going to win this game tonight. Without a doubt. But fast forward to today, and I'm not so sure. Both teams winless. Let's take a look at their seasons so far. First, the Fulton Falcons. You see they started out with South Doyle, one of the best teams in the state of Tennessee, or in East Tennessee at least. Then Knox Central again, then Powell again, then Austin East again. And then you think, well, you know, Fulton just had to run through the gauntlet. So it's okay. They're going to get that win against Carnes. They didn't. They got beat by Carnes as well. And then you start thinking, like, is there a win on the schedule for this Fulton team? Of course, they have to go to Maryville. They're not going to win that game. And you get to at Clinton, I don't know. This could be a place where Fulton could get a win, obviously, but it might not be as well.
It's going to be a great game to get to watch tonight because both programs are struggling. They're looking at each other, seeing who's going to step up and try to make an impact on the late half of the season.
So let's look at Clinton's schedule. They've not won a game either, but they played Anderson County, which we saw last week, a very good team. CAK, they're normally pretty good. Hall started out the season, I think 5-0 before they finally were beat. Then Meigs County, we talked about Meigs, how great they are. Powell was really good. Went to Oak Ridge, then went to West, lost both of those games. So Clinton's had a pretty tough schedule as well. And then you get to this Fulton game, and you're like, well, you know, maybe this is one the Dragons can get.
It is, if they can just not turn over the football.
Okay, so 0-6, 0-7, a combined 0-13. There's got to be a point where your kids can lose hope and just give up on the season. Are we past that point now?
Well, you should be. The initial shock is over. These seniors who before this year for Fulton has averaged 9 wins a season. And they're now realizing that the season's almost over. So they'll be fighting tooth and nail to try to get a win here tonight versus Clinton.
Now listen, I'm not trying to poke a bear here, but you were a part of a winless season.
Yes.
An 0-10 season.
Yes.
Was there a team on that schedule, you looked at it, and it is comparable to what these kids are going through? They look at it, and is it easier to find just circle a team on that schedule and say, hey, let's get fired up for this one because this might be the one chance to win all season?
Yeah, well, you know, they see it, and it's really sinking in for these Clinton players. Hey, not only can they possibly get a win tonight, but they get to possibly beat Fulton and get their first win. That's huge. So these Clinton players, they're going to be fired up and ready to play some football.
As the captains come onto the field, we'll take a look at our starting lineups.
A little chillier here tonight.
Yeah, finally, I think we might have made it into football weather. So for Fulton, you've got at quarterback Tommy Sweat, at running back McCovery, wide receiver Jeffrey Riddle, wide receiver Marcellus Jackson, wide receiver Joshua Jones and Adrian Roberson. At right tackle, you've got Zurich Hudson. At right guard, you've got James Coleman. At center, Cameron Stokes. Left guard, Seth Vaughn. And at left tackle, Bill Anderson. You see the youth on that Fulton team, which could explain some of their troubles this season.
2 seniors only.
Yeah, on defense, they'll go Bill Anderson, James Coleman, and Seth Vaughn on that defensive line. Your linebackers, Andre Walton, Cameron Stokes, Zurich Hudson, and Keenan Vaughn. Your safeties, Adrian Roberson, Marcellus Jackson, and cornerbacks, DeRondre Peoples and Joshua Jones. Now for for Fulton, you've got that is Clinton. I thought we just did Fulton. Quarterback Trace Jackson, he'll have wingbacks of Wyatt Russell and Connor Moody. Fullback Xander Allen. On the line, you'll have Trevor Linderman, Dylan Stoudemire, Isaac Murphy, Gavin Bollinger, and Caleb Cook. Your tight end will be Nick Graham, and wide receiver will be Andy King. On defense for Fulton, on that line, you'll have Justin Toomey and Trevor Linderman making up the ends. Your nose guard is William Jackson. Your linebackers, Nick Graham, Eddie Landfair, Will Briggs, Connor Moody. Your cornerbacks are Edwin Resendez and Andy King, and your safeties are Baylor Wallace and Josh Graham. So those are the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. So I got to ask you now, we've seen the rosters, we've talked about the teams, we've read the game notes. What do you think the keys are for both of these teams tonight?
Clinton has got to get the offense rolling tonight. They have only been averaging 7 points a game, and that won't cut it here tonight. And they've got to stop the turnovers immediately. They've had way too many turnovers this year. I believe it was 18 on the season. Fulton, they have to play better defensively and play discipline tonight versus this offense.
And you look at the screen, you see series notes. This is the 19th meeting between the two schools. Fulton only leads 10-8, and with the recent success of Fulton, people might be surprised to see that this has been such a close series throughout the years, and we expect to see a really close game tonight. And what's funny is Rob Black has had so much success as the head football coach here at Fulton, but you look at Randy McCamey, who has had a lot of success in his previous ventures. He was the head coach at Grace Christian Academy before leaving there to come to Clinton to take on this program, and he's just 6-22 here at Clinton, but has an overall record of 91-47.
Yeah, this is a rebuild job. He knew that coming in, and he's just trying to get it turned around and get this thing moving in the right direction.
And how about that? These are the two smallest schools in Region 3-5A. Fulton with 970 students in its enrollment, and Clinton has a population of 1123. I should say Clinton High School has that population.
Yeah, that's impressive. And you think about it, I mean, Fulton not too far away from AA, closer to AA than they are to 4A, so that's scary.
So I'm Aaron Harvey. That's James Gibson. This is the OEB Law Game of the Week. OEB lawyers are enforcers or rules of the road by holding people who break or disregard the rules accountable for their actions, like distracted driving, texting and driving, or careless driving. OEB will hold those people responsible for the harms and losses they caused, like your medical bills, property damage, inconveniences, and lost wages. Go to wreckintoacheck.com for more information. Want to also thank the rest of our sponsors as well: Oak Ridge Utility District, Evans Mortuary, Griffin Insurance, Harriman Utilities Board, Ray Varner Ford, S.L. Bowman and Sons, Davis Funeral Homes. Thank these businesses. Do business with them because they purchased your ticket to be here at this game tonight, and we will bring you all the coverage that we possibly can. So Fulton will receive the football to begin this game. For Clinton, Noah Grumbach will be the kicker. And back deep to receive for Fulton is Joshua Jones. So here is Grumbach's kickoff. Jones takes it at the 10, looks for room up the right side, finds it, gets to the 35, to the 40, and he's out of bounds. We'll have to see where they mark it, but that's a really good start for this Fulton offense.
Just enough of a crease to pick up a big gain, and he's got really good field vision.
So Tommy Sweat, quarterback of this Fulton team, will lead his team out onto the field searching for the first win of the season for these Fulton Falcons.
He's got 641 passing yards on the season so far with an average of 12.9 yards per catch. He's only got 2 passing touchdowns. I thought that was a little shocking with 5 interceptions.
So Sweat, handoff, goes over the right tackle, and that's Mac McCovery.
That's a good run, but the biggest thing I noticed there is the Fulton left side of that offensive line just totally caved in on the Clinton defensive line. So looked to be a little bit of a difference in the trenches early on for Fulton.
That's a good pickup on first down. Hammers 1st and 10 will bring up a 2nd and about 6. So Sweat takes a snap, handoff again. Goes McCovery going over left side. Finds a lot of running room to the 40, to the 30. He is going to score. I'm looking for flags. I don't see them. Touchdown, Fulton. 1 minute into this game, the Falcons lead over Clinton 6-0.
That's a big play. What field vision, what movement, what athleticism. That's a great play by that young man.
So McCovery, he was at the 45. That's a 55-yard touchdown run. And on to try to attempt the extra point will be Grumbach.
And remember, this Fulton team is young. Watch his field vision here. There's 1 tackle, 2.
He shifts, he looks.
And he outruns everybody.
Great start for Fulton.
If you're coming to tackle number 2 for Fulton, you better break down.
I knew he was going all the way, so my eyes left him, and I went to the field to search for flags. And as I did, quarterback Tommy Sweat was jumping up and down. He's got a fake field goal, and it's a halfback pass, and it is incomplete out of the back of the end zone. Attempting that pass was Marcellus Jackson.
I like the aggressiveness. Hey.
Coach Rob Black wants this win really bad, and right now he's got a 6-point lead in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
Greg joined the military to serve his country and fight for freedom. He was a dedicated soldier, and during his days off, Greg enjoyed riding his motorcycle. But none of that mattered to the speeding driver who was texting and slammed into him. Greg had medical bills the insurance company refused to pay until Greg called OEB Law. When you get injured, don't expect the insurance company to put your needs first. Call OEB Law 546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Back at Clinton, Tommy Grumbach going to kick off for this Fulton Falcon team. No. Yes.
What an aggressive play call down there on a 2-point conversion. It was a close. It hit. Jaden Jenkins was able to put 1 hand on it.
That's Joseph Mohica. I'm sorry. And off a bounce, kick is taken at the 20-yard line. And that is Xander Allen. Gets it up to about the 34-yard line, and that's where Clinton will start their drive.
I'm excited to see this Clinton offense and see the progressions they've made as the season's went on and see if they've made any developments in some key areas. Here's that big play. Good job switching the ball to the inside. And that's just speed. You can't coach that. That's what you look for. That's awesome.
So Clinton lines up in a wing T on Hammers 1st and 10. They send a man in motion, and someone jumps. So we're going to have a 5-yard penalty. And it will be first and actually, I didn't see it. But they're saying that someone from Fulton jumped off sides.
Yeah, they approached. This is a technique of that offense. It's a lot of motions, and it can make you jump off sides. So Fulton's got to be really disciplined.
So the Hammers 1st and 10 is shortened by 5 yards. Will be 1st and 5. Snap, handoff right up the middle, and the ball's on the ground, and it is recovered at the 44-yard line. And, wow, coming up with it that time was Connor Moody.
He's got to hold on to this ball. That's just a great play by Fulton's defender there, number 5.
Yeah, Xander Allen got the handoff, fumbled it, and the ball squirted ahead. So actually, Clinton gained about 4 yards on that fumble recovery.
But the turnovers, fumbles, putting the ball on the ground, they're lucky to pick that one up.
You cannot have it. You cannot have it. So Trace Thackerson lining up in that quarterback position. Sends a man in motion and will hand off. Going over right side and up to about the 49-yard line. And that time getting the carry was Graham.
That's a good play. They did a good job executing that. The offensive line did a good job being able to get a hat on a hat. And if you do that against this type of defense, you can have some success.
Pick up a 4 on that Hammers 1st and 10 will bring up 2nd and 6 as Clinton approaches midfield. Not a bad way to start this game, even if they did put it on the ground one time.
I'm keeping a count.
So Thackerson sends a man in motion. That's Graham. Now sends another man in motion and does hand it off at the 46 of Fulton.
Joshua Jones, number 1 for Fulton, coming up and making a solid tackle.
And that's going to be really close to another Hammers 1st and 10, but it's not. Going to bring up 3rd and 1.
You'd like to see number 1 Joshua Jones come in there and put his face mask on his chest and drive through the player. That way it's more high percentage tackle.
And quarterback sneak as Thackerson crosses the 45, gets to the 44. That's going to be enough for a Hammers 1st and 10.
That's a big play for number 52, the offensive guard or center for Clinton. He got a really good push on the play, and the quarterback just followed him right up the hole.
And so Clinton with a very impressive drive to start its pursuit of the end zone to try to match Fulton's 6 points on the board.
Just can't have mental mistakes and putting the ball on the ground. If they continue to have this type of success, Fulton will start to panic.
Thackerson again sends his tight end in motion, and now another motion man as Thackerson drops back like he's going to throw, pump fakes. Now he's going to keep it and lose yardage.
Thackerson on the keeper, tripped up.
Yeah, you'd like to see him throw that ball out of bounds there, but he's trying to make a play, make something happen.
They're going to say a loss of 2, loss of a long 2. We'll call it that. So it will bring up 2nd and 12.
Yeah, and one thing you notice, the offensive linemen are watching the play instead of watching downfield, and they're losing their guy. So the guy defender is breaking loose and getting a rush on the quarterback.
James Coleman, coming from his defensive end position, will get credit for the tackle. Thackerson hands off going up the middle, and that goes to Allen. Allen doesn't get much.
No, it wasn't much there. The Fulton defense is starting to pay attention and pick up on what they're doing. This is a offense that they don't care if you know why we're running the ball. We're going to run it anyways and see if you can stop us.
Now, one thing I hear a lot of people say when you're facing an option offense is you got to read your keys on defense. What does that mean exactly?
Your keys is where your key indicators. It's where if you in this type of offense, one of your keys is your guard to your fullback. So you're reading that offensive guard, and if that's the player right beside the center who's been over there with his hand on the ball, and that linebacker of Fulton, if he keys those guards, they will take him to the play. They pull them and they lead block. Wherever that guard's going is 9 out of 10 where that ball carrier is going to be running.
Well, Clinton's going to take a timeout on this 3rd and long. We'll do the same. This is the OAB Law game of the week.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Ranger Super Cab, $22,996. New 2019 Ford F-150, $23,629. New 2019 F-250 Crew Cab 4x4 XLT, $45,578. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. I-75 exit 122 or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Back at Clinton, Coach Randy McCamey wanted to call a timeout and draw something up for this 3rd and long.
Yeah, anytime you're in this type of situation when you run this offense, this is not what you want. You want to be ahead of the sticks. So this is an offense that is counting on about, a positive gain on every play, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and which makes a manageable third down. This isn't a pass-heavy offense. This isn't, you might look for a screen here. So let's see what they choose to do with no fullback.
Thackerson, like you said, lines up without a fullback, sends a man in motion, and there is a handoff going around the left side and still on his feet, but finally tackled at the 40-yard line. And on the carry that time is Connor Moody, and picks up about 4 yards. We'll bring up 4th and 6. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line.
Pretty good field vision, but he just kept running to where the defenders are coming from, bouncing inside one too many times. That's where your flow's coming from. So you want to try to bounce that outside. You usually can make one bounce inside, and the rest all have to be outside.
Thackerson still on the field, so Clinton going to try to pick up this first down on 4th down. Sends a man in motion. That's Moody. Handoff over the right side, and nothing. He's short, and that was Eli Deschamps, and
Marcellus Jackson coming in big on solid tackle.
Yeah, so Clinton's going to turn the ball over on downs, give it to Fulton at the Falcon 38-yard line, which is pretty close to the starting field position for Fulton's first drive. And if you were just joining us, Fulton needed exactly 60 seconds off the clock to put 6 points on the board.
And it's not a good sign when your defense is out there now a little bit with their hands on their sides, breathing heavy at this stage of the ball game. So Fulton looked to take advantage of that.
Yeah, a lot of these players play both ways. So here is a carry going around the right side. That's the man that scampered 55 yards for the score before, and that is McCovery.
Now on this play, the cornerback at the top of the screen, he has to get off that wide receiver block and come up and help on that outside run, and he was unfortunately getting blocked down the field. So the Fulton wide receiver needs to get a attaboy for that play.
McCovery picks up 9 on the Hammers, 1st and 10, brings up 2nd and 1. Sweat, handoff. And it's McCovery again. This time he stopped in the backfield, and the ball's on the ground.
I believe they called him down. But what a good job by the Clinton defense swarming to the ball. That's what you want to see. You see flashes out of teams like this that's having a rough season. But once they could actually get consistent, that's when special things and wins start taking place. So it's good to see Clinton fired up.
3rd and a long 2 for this Fulton Falcon team.
Marcellus Jackson with the yellow gloves is making me think there's flags down.
Here's Sweat. His pass is incomplete out of the hands of his intended target.
You've got to catch that. It looked like it hit him right in the face mask. And that's the difference between a team that's having a lot of success and one that's not. You got to make the plays that you're called for. You got to come down with that catch.
So Tommy Sweat is normally the punter on this team.
And he's about 15 yards deep, so they got a good long snapper.
And here is the punt. It's a wobbly spiral, lands at the 26 and rolls. And the ball is down inside the 10-yard line at about the 9.
Ball down by Fulton inside the.
Gosh, I thought Clinton was going to touch that football.
And I tell you, DeAndre Peebles for Fulton, number 20, did a great job on that punt. He was able to push the defender away from the ball, which let the ball roll down the field even further. That was a big heads-up play that a lot of people wouldn't see if you wasn't paying attention to it. That's a big heads-up play.
And you're allowed to do that as long as the ball is not on the ground, or in the air, rather.
And what you teach is actually push your player into the ball, and then it's a fumble.
Right. So Thackerson back on the field for this Clinton team. He's rolling to his right, looking downfield, has a man. It's picked off almost again. Wow.
Marcellus Jackson hit him right in the hands, but he ran right into his big O linebacker, Cameron Stokes, all 6'1", 259 of him, and that bounced the ball right out of those yellow gloves.
And it was almost intercepted again. Marcellus Jackson with those those yellow gloves.
I think he needs to take them off. Watch this.
He has it, and then, yeah. So almost having it was Joshua Jones, who's a kick return specialist on this team, so normally has really good hands, but not able to come down with that interception. That could have been disastrous for Clinton.
I think Fulton needs to invest in a jugs machine.
There you go. So 2nd and 10, Sweat looks. He's going to throw again. Puts the ball, nicely placed ball, but Jones, with great defense there, knocks it away from the intended receiver.
Great coverage by number 1 of Fulton.
And that was Josh Gray on the attempt. So Sweat sees one-on-one coverage.
Very rarely are you going to be able to outrun a Fulton cornerback ever. So throwing into double coverage isn't a wise decision, but he was trying to make a play.
So 3rd and 10 for Clinton. In this type of offense, 3rd and long, as you said earlier, is not a position you want to be in, but especially 3rd and long back deep on your side of the field. And we've got a flag on the play. And it's actually Clinton going to take a timeout. So Clinton wants to talk about this 3rd and long like they did the last one. Fulton leads it 6-0 in our OEB Law Game of the Week.
They're second of the first half.
Come celebrate Ford Truck and SUV Month at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Ranger Super Cab, $22,996. New 2019 Ford F-150, $23,629. New 2019 F-250 Crew Cab 4x4 XLT, $45,578. New 2019 Ford Edge, $27,998. New 2019 Ford Fusion, $19,960. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
4:18 left to go in the first quarter. It is Fulton leading Clinton 6-0. The Dragons facing a 3rd and 10 deep on their side of the field.
Yeah, this is danger territory. You've got to be really careful here and know that you're fixing to have to punt. So you want to try to get that thing moved up a little bit. Choosing to come out in a 1 wide receiver set. Should be an indicator of some type of run or play action.
Man in motion.
Play
Sweat.
action.
Fakes and sacked from behind. And coming up with that sack is Keenan Vaughn. And he's coming from that linebacker position. And that's a loss of 3. Bring up 4th and about 13 for Clinton.
You see a lot of younger quarterbacks make this type of mistake. They got to know that you got to get rid of that ball in a hurry. You've got to know that the pressure's getting after you. When you have that type of running lane in front of you, either get rid of the ball, throw it, or run. Don't be taking your time.
So Nick Graham going to punt this football away, and it's a wobbly spiral taken cleanly at the Clinton 39. Up to the 30, to the 20, still on his feet, finally brought down just outside the 10-yard line, and there's a flag on the play. On the return for Fulton.
The flag on the play
was Marcellus Jackson.
I couldn't see anything for what the penalty might be.
Well, we're about to find out. There is no flag on the play. It has been wiped out. So Fulton will have a 1st and almost goal as the ball is going to be spotted at, I think, the 14-yard line.
Now watch number 1 here as the lead blocker for his teammate. This is a great job. Picks up the most dangerous threat, pushes him out of bounds, dominating block, which sprung the big return.
Old Green Gloves himself on that good return. So McCovery gets the handoff on the Hammers 1st and 10. Picks up a couple.
Pretty good job by the Clinton defense of staying low and being able to shed some blocks and get in the backfield. You continue to do that, you'll have some success.
So Fulton in scoring position, already leading this one 6-0.
Coming out in a 2-back set.
And it's McCovery again, and now there's a fake reverse as McCovery keeps it. Gets to the 5, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Fulton.
That's ridiculous. That was impressive. He's got some really good athleticism and some really good hips to be able to move like that, and he stands out on that football field.
Fulton has some energy for an 0-7 team. You see the fake reverse. It had me fooled. And then McCovery able to run into the end zone.
4 Clinton players touched him on that touchdown. Phew, unacceptable. You got to do better than that.
Got to do better. So now Joseph Mahaika gets it right between the uprights, and now Fulton leads 13-0 with 2:37 left to go in the first quarter.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy.
We've just rode in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
Fulton leads at 13-0 in our OEB Law game of the week. And the Falcons searching for that first victory of the season.
I want to see Clinton catch the ball. This is a big issue with me that I've seen so far covering high school football in our areas, a lack of discipline on special teams. So let's see if they learn from their mistake from earlier.
And they will, but the two receivers run into each other. But on a really decent return and still on his feet, getting up to the 30, almost to the 40. That was a really good return. And it was Joshua Jones that time.
That's a big play. He refused to come down.
Walton on the stop for Fulton. 1st and 10 for the Dragons at their own 40-yard line.
See the replay here. It does a really good job staying in bounds and using his field vision. And really poor mistake there between the returners. They're going to have to communicate better when the ball's in the air.
And I apologize. That's actually Andy King on the return.
You see on the replay, too many guys watching the ball carrier. You want to see those guys start to identify the nearest threat and get a hat on a hat.
So Sweat hands off to Allen. Allen straight forward and
out.
Driven to the turf, and the ball is on the ground.
And that's a big hit by Cameron Stokes. He's one of the most impressive ball players on the field right now at 6'1", 259. And you see here why I say that. That's a big-time tackle. That's a college tackle, and this young man's only a sophomore?
And Allen asked to come out of the game.
Yes, a sophomore. He's going to have a bright future. Again, another the ball on the turf. It's just way too many times.
Sweat sends a man in motion, then handoff going around the right sideline, almost losing his footing, but not. Boy, that Fulton defense gobbled him up, as that time it was Deshaun.
Clinton is trying to run a lot of counters because of the speed of Fulton. Fulton has so much speed to be able to run the player down that Clinton is trying to back across that and come back behind that to take advantage of that, making their strength a weakness, so to speak, but it didn't work on that play.
And a scoring update, Greenback leads over Coalfield in a tight one, 12-6.
What a game. What a game.
All right, we are under a minute left to go in this first quarter. Sweat sends a man in motion. Handoff goes to Deshaun around the right side. and gets it up to about the 48-yard line before he's brought out of bounds, and that will bring up another 4th down for Randy McCamey's team.
More manageable than what it's been earlier in the ball game. Let's see. What's he decided to do? Is he going to kick it?
It looks like